Hi guys, not sure if you guys can hear me or see us. Seem to be having a bit of technical difficulties. So if you guys can let us know if you can see or hear one of us or both of us. We might have to leave the studio here briefly and hop back in. But as far as I can tell, we're live. Um, so I can't see Abby there. So um, welcome everyone. Hopefully everyone's had a good week. Um, I've been a little bit busy running around today, so I hadn't had as much time to prepare for the stream as I'd like to. Okay, good. Thank you, Sean. You can see me, Michael, but not Abby. Her screen is buffering. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it looked like on my end. So, but just talking with Abby just before we went live, off stage, her screen is blank for me, and then for her, my screen is blank. So we're just not sure what's going on here. I'll just kind of let you guys know I've been busy because I had to be out of the house the last few days so I could fumigate my apartment and finally get rid of these roaches that have been plaguing me for a long time. So hopefully they are finally gone. I have to wait a few days or weeks to know for sure. Keep your fingers crossed, because nobody likes living with roaches. So I haven't really had time. I still see, if you can see right here, I got all half my stuff still to unpack. So I've been a little bit running around, but hopefully we're still able to provide a stream here for you. Yeah, hope it works out for me. Hate house bugs. Yep, that sucks. Thanks, guys. Abby's still honoring George Floyd. Yeah. So how are you guys doing? Hope all is well. Today we are going to talk about Jimmy Dore and George Galloway, and apparently the overarching theme is the so-called independent left is taking a turn for the worse, and I guess we're here to document that a little bit and offer our commentary. So, hoping that Abby could offer her commentary at least. It seems like she was having some troubles here that we don't understand. So she was kind of telling me, I do this too sometimes. I kind of forget it. We forget that it's Thursday, thinking it's Wednesday. So she was a bit caught off guard, preparing some food in the kitchen. So she didn't quite have time to do as much on her end for preparation either. So yeah, she looks like Abby's saying she thinks she might need to restart her computer. So that's okay. That's fine. In the meantime, I think I'm going to try and share my screen. I know that it's been kind of glitchy lately. I can play some of the video from George Galloway's interview. I didn't grab the video for Jimmy Dore just yet. I was hoping Abby would be able to bring that. So let me just try and play that video that we're going to comment on for you. I find this to be rather exasperating to be seeing George Galloway feeling the need to open his arms to these Tate brothers. It's kind of ironic, too, considering he's supposed to have his own Socialist Workers' Party, and now these right-wing guys, influencers, they've started their own Bruv party, and George Galloway seems to be putting some kind of public support behind them, at least for their thinking that they're being witch hunted by the media for rape and child or human trafficking sort of stuff. So it's important to, I guess, point out that the court, whatever hearings are not over and whatnot. So it's not necessarily right to convict people who haven't been found guilty. But then again, courts can be quite compromised and useless. So what is the court of public opinion for? So let me just hit play here and I'll see if it works. So pardon me. should have maybe spent less time trying to pack away or unpack my stuff and more time worrying about this. But there we go. I got too many tabs open, so I'll try and close those too. But I don't want to do that maybe now that we're live because that would maybe slow things down. So,
well, Andrew Tate. Social media influencer.
Good to see you.
Now, no charges against you, and yet you are not yet free to leave, though I understand that might soon change.
Yeah, correct. UK Foreign Office gave the opposite charge. They do not like. They decided that the process was the punishment, and it's been a certainly very long process. 3 years in, the first case was destroyed in Romanian court, which is a miracle in and of itself to win anything in a Romanian court. And then they launched a second one just to keep us under some form of arrest measure, even though we've yet to be indicted with that second case. A lot of people at home, unfortunately, stolen on a computer by somebody aiming to destroy your life is the truth by gospel. So we've yet to be convicted of any crime. We're currently not charged with any crime. However, we remain trapped inside of the territory of Romania because it is the process, which is the punishment, and the primary objective was to get us off of the internet.
It's a beautiful country. You could be trapped in worse countries, let me assure you.
It's a very beautiful place. Yes, it's a beautiful country. However, I do like to think that the Western powers were salivating at the fact that we were some of the largest thorns in their side. And instead of demonstrating that their own political systems and their own judicial systems are corrupted, like they had to do with January 6th or the attacks on Trump, et cetera, they got to use a foreign judicial system.
Yeah.
Because they have no problem at all with them looking corrupt. They don't care. So for them, it was actually fantastic that unfortunately we were in Romania and they didn't have to degrade the reputation of their own judicial bodies. And they could simply say, get him. Here we are.
Yeah, well, we've been across this many times before, and Britain power thus degraded. In the case of my friend Julian Assange, for example.
Absolutely, the Americans should stand there and pretend. And there was nothing to do with them. The whole thing.
Persecution from the crucifixion that they attempted, and we don't know if he ever will fully recover. We pray for that outcome. They're very selective, of course, on sex cases.
Hey, Michael.
Michael. I mean, for example,
okay, I see Abby.
So yes.
Hey, how's it going? I can hear you. I can see you. Looks like everyone else can.
Yes. It's skipping. So you want to send it to me? Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for my, I was meeting. I don't know how much you heard before, but I had my security people came out today to check the cameras around the house, and I kept having to switch Wi-Fi's and whatnot, and somehow I was being connected to a locked Wi-Fi that I have no affiliation with, and that's why my stuff kept spinning. So I had to restore it to rectify that. So I apologize.
Well, at least you figured it out.
I figured it out. It only took me 10 minutes.
Not bad. No.
So you sent it to me?
Yeah, in the private chat there.
Okay, so I'm going to be blind reacting to this, right? And then I have a YouTube video I want you to blind react to. So this should be fun.
Well, if it's this the Jimmy Dore apologetics for the Elon Musk.
For Elon Musk, yeah.
You
hadn't seen that, right? You did see it?
I saw some of it, pretty sure. So I didn't watch much of it. As soon as I heard him saying what I thought he was saying, I was like, ugh, gross. It's fucking.
Right. So while that is queuing up, I'm just looking and saying hello to everybody. Driving Miss Macy, Old Man Barker, Eddie's Nuts, Volunteera, Sean.
Volunteera might
Jacqueline's
resent
here.
being called a troll a bit. I don't know if he's actually trolling us, so I appreciate you joining us.
You know what it is? He doesn't quite like the fact that I am in favor of reparations, and that doesn't bother me. I don't care. There's other things that we can agree to. You don't have to agree with me on that. That's fine. But I figure he might be trolling because he made a comment about something about me and George
Floyd.
Yeah, which
What do you
sounds.
say?
Okay.
I wasn't sure if I understood exactly what he was saying with that either, but
Abby is still honoring George Floyd. Like,
why wouldn't you?
okay, please come with something better. Please, give me something hard. Like, that's too easy, Volunteera. Okay, so you ready for me to share this?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly the timestamp. If you need to find it,
it was sweet.
Do you want to start it over at the beginning of the interview?
Because I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Unless it's gonna annoy people for me to start it over.
Oh, it's okay. I think it should be like about 28 minutes in.
Jacqueline, I love you.
28, like 50, I think.
28:50. Okay. Here we go. Okay, I'll make this big. Unmute. And while I was pretty off topic while I was spinning, I did not know that you can cook beet stems and leaves. Like, I didn't know it was edible. It's delicious.
Oh, yeah? I didn't know that
either. It's delicious. I made some today.
Nice.
Okay, here we go.
In Jewish exceptionalism, nobody in truth is exceptional. There's nothing religious.
That's like 27:50. Maybe skip ahead one more minute.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Nationalist supremacy, ethno-religious supremacy on the land.
There we go. Sorry about that.
No worries.
That's George Galloway on my X, on the YouTube community poll, or on the YouTube stream. If you're following on the YouTube stream, make sure you've subscribed to the channel and that you give the show the thumbs up and share it, if you will, with all of your friends and contacts. 16,841 people have already voted, and pretty overwhelmingly so far they say yes. If you want to call the show, it's toll-free in the United States and Canada. +1 844-944-3344.
I'm just waiting.
Free of charge in the UK and Ireland. 0881-965522. And in the rest of the world, it's 0044-203-966.
Maybe we should call in his show one day and talk to him. If we're hard enough, he likes to say.
Andrew Tate, social media influencer, it says here. Andrew, welcome.
We could maybe pause it even right. First of all, they introduced him as a social media influencer. He has not been introduced as a bourgeois or petty bourgeois, but
isn't he like a
businesses. I don't know if that's petty. That's more like straight up bourgeois. He's like a $250 million net worth. But let's call him like a working class kind of social influencer.
He is isn't he? Yeah, Volunteera. He's demented. Yeah, isn't he like on house arrest or something for being a pedo? No, sex trafficking.
Allegedly, right? It's a court case ongoing, but
okay, so innocent till proven guilty type stuff, right? But he is on house arrest, and he has daddy issues.
Oh yeah, well,
he like really shits on black women and stuff because I think his dad is black or something, and he did not. His dad kind of abandoned the family or something.
Well, it's a bit of a story. There's some allegations that he's, or rumors that he's was a CIA agent kind of thing.
I heard that too.
Did a little bit of brief looking into it. It seems like that even might have come from Andrew Tate himself, suggesting that he might have been involved with the CIA. But he was, for a long time, for like 20 years, he was in the U.S. Air Force. And Galloway will mention in the interview, he's he was a world-renowned chess player, like one of the best kind of chess players. So as far as being a spy, I would say we like to talk about like 3D, 4D chess, and he's apparently very fluent in Russian and German and Spanish, and he was in the army during the Cold War.
And grifting.
So, and his son is like a really massive, like third most Googled name in 2023 sort of thing. I feel like there's a little bit of passing down of how to manipulate the public. Sounds kind of CIA-ish to me, but of course with the CIA, very hard to come up with a smoking gun sometimes. It's kind of their job not to have one.
You know, I'm glad you just said that, because it brings me back to a comment. It was from Volunteera about how, let me see if I can find it, that Trump should, something about him and fame. Dang, I can't find it. But it was an interesting comment, which speaks to what you're saying. Like they know how to be a PR person and to rile people up, and it suits them, right? They make money. They don't even have to believe the bullshit that they're spewing to you. It doesn't matter. It's just how can I get the clicks and the likes to get the money?
Yeah.
So I wish I could find it, but I can't.
That's okay.
That's like okay. Maybe if he wants to
chat. So
yeah, if he here it is. Found it. Trump should write a masterclass on fame. It would be considered a sacred book right next to the Bible. And actually, in this social media world where content is key, I think it would be like he could sell that book and make a lot of money on it. So,
a lot better than what's her name, Marianne Williamson's book. Who's ever gonna sell?
Well, you know, I feel like she was just running for president so she could sell more books.
Yeah,
because she was deeply unserious.
I don't know who wants to read a book about Trump when we hear about him every day. Like,
I mean, his sycophants. So, there's someone new in the chat. Margatina J. Hi, welcome.
Yes, that one, maybe she seems a bit more like a potential troll there. She's saying Dore did nothing wrong. And she's not sure
okay. Well, we'll talk about it.
Up in her feed, so.
We'll talk about it after this one. So, you know, if you want to comment later, go ahead, do your la-da thing. Sebastian F is here. So should we start this so we can, you know, get on with the reacts and stuff?
Yep. Just hello, Old Man Barker and Jacqueline and Volunteer and everyone. If we missed you, appreciate you. So.
Yep. Sakuodo. I hope I'm saying that properly. It looks like everybody wants to get to Jimmy Dore pretty soon. So let's get through this. And
yeah, I didn't mean to start with this. We just had the
technical difficulties. It's fine. Okay, so here we go. There.
Let's summarize where we are on your legal problems.
Sure.
There are now no charges against you, and yet you are not yet free to leave, though I understand that might soon change.
Yeah, correct. The UK Foreign Office and the State Department under Biden decided to get me off the internet. So they instigated the Romanians to come up and drum up with charges, which they've done globally.
Yeah,
they've also done my mic. January 6th.
Yeah, mute your mic.
Using the lawfare system to attack people who they do not like. They decided that the process was the punishment, and it's been a certainly very long process. 3 years in, the first case was destroyed in Romanian court, which is a miracle in and of itself to win anything in a Romanian court. And then they launched a second one just to keep us under some form of arrest measure, even though we've yet to be indicted with that second case. A lot of people at home, unfortunately, still seem to believe that things typed on a computer by a prosecutor are golden. And if you're smart enough to understand that the media is a lie, and smart enough to understand that a lot of history is a lie,
Does
it'd
have a
be
point
pretty
there.
silly to believe that anything typed up on a computer by somebody aiming to destroy your life is the truth by gospel. So we've yet to be convicted of any crime. We're currently not charged with any crime. However, we remain trapped inside of the territory of Romania because it is the process, which is the punishment. And the primary objective was to get us off of the internet.
It's a beautiful country. You could be trapped in worse countries. Let me.
Okay, don't they say that about Matt Gaetz? That his charges were to like silence him. I mean, it is true. They will ruin you in a heartbeat. But the fact that like it's like you have to. Not you have to. Let me use this as an example. P. Diddy, or any of them that they like, they put the hammer down on. They knew what you were doing for years, decades. They allowed you to do it until you were no longer useful to them, or until you like didn't do the bidding. Oh, look at in politics. Look at Bernie Sanders.
Yep.
Right? Like he's doing the bidding so he could stay safe.
Yep. Well,
Because
I think.
they have stuff on them. Hey, bad cookies.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah. So I'm sure there's some truth to that here as well, because they don't allow you to be famous or they don't allow you to be in that upper echelon unless you know the rules. You know what I mean?
You have to pay the price, right? To pay the
Right.
price. You know?
Right. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. No, I think with a good person to compare Andrew Tate to right now is Jackson Hinkle, where everyone's going to be saying, "Oh, he's been canceled by all the YouTube and the Instagram and all that, and they wouldn't kick people off if they weren't a threat to the establishment, right, guys?" And I'm saying that's exactly the cover that you need to convince these people who are aware that they're lied to all the time, that you need a way to get like some kind of cover to get in on their side, and then they'll trust you if they see some basic evidence that you're some like not even they're not thinking 3D chess, 4D chess, right?
And I'm so glad you're saying this, Michael, because when we were going to talk about Jimmy Dore, one of the things I was going to bring up is I've been saying for ever and a day, I don't trust Tucker Carlson. Jimmy Dore just acts like Tucker Carlson is the shit because he got fired and now he's speaking truths. And I'm just like, you can't be serious, right? Like they definitely see that people are watching independent media more than the mainstream media. So all these people getting fired and then moving to their own independent media show. You think I believe that?
Yeah. And I think what I had a thought that I think is correct today. Don't we all like to think our thoughts are correct? But
right.
When I'm looking into Andrew Tate, I was reminded about the Streisand effect, the Barbara Streisand, and so I think that's exactly what they've learned to turn to their advantage, because I guess Barbara Streisand had sued somebody for taking a photo of her house for climate change. To show
Yeah.
And she said, like, you guys are like paparazzi, so give me $50 million. And then the fact that she said, you're not allowed to publish images of my private property, ironically, accidentally made a huge viral video craze. Everyone wanted to see what she was talking about. I think that was the first original accidental way that they learned of that psychological effect, and they've learned to turn it and use it against us.
Yeah. Okay. Should I don't know what this is. It's a common tactic, but I don't think so in this case. He even said it on one of his streams. So I think he might be talking about Andrew Tate.
Well, that might be having a comment before it that has a bit more.
Yeah, maybe.
Or he's replying to somebody.
Yeah. Should we get back to it?
Yep.
Okay.
Assure you.
It's a very beautiful place. Yes, it's a beautiful country. However, I do like to think that the Western powers were
put that on
salivating at the fact that we were some of the largest thorns in their side. And
Oh,
instead
sorry.
of demonstrating that their own political systems and their own judicial systems are corrupted, like they had to do with January 6th or the attacks on Trump, etc., they got to use a foreign judicial system because they have no problem at all with them looking corrupt. They don't care. So for them, it was actually fantastic that unfortunately we were in Romania and they didn't have to degrade the reputation of their own judicial bodies, and they could simply say, "Get him." Here we are.
Yeah, well, we've been across this many times before, and Britain has been that foreign power thus degraded. In the case of my friend Julian Assange, for example.
Absolutely. The Americans could stand there and pretend it was nothing to do with them when the whole thing was them from head to toe.
Exactly. And Julian is Julian was effectively crucified and hasn't even yet fully recovered from the persecution, from the crucifixion.
MO, he tries to say things broadly that everyone can agree with,
and
unless you're an
we don't
idiot
know if he ever will.
uninformed.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think that's part of the tactic, right? You pick those commentaries that everyone can agree with, and then you'd have to be an idiot not to agree with him. But then you have to look into the backstories of what he's already said too. He said some crazy shit. If we look at some articles. So just like Jackson Hinkle, he said all kinds of ridiculous stuff, and then, oh, I was just joking, or that's just a character I was playing. Yeah, that's called the grift.
And this is why we have to have our own mind and do our own research, right? Because even Candace Owens, I can't say that I don't agree with some of the stuff she says, but I also can't say that I don't believe she's a fake grifter, and she's being used to be the black face that is not really pro-black. And that's just my opinion.
I don't know as much about her. I haven't followed her as much, but those few things that I have seen about her, she just seems like like a conservative, black person who's kind of buys into the capitalism there. Like I'm a successful woman, and a black woman, and you're trying to keep me down. A successful Christian black woman, like she's upholding that faith. I always find it a bit of a joke that, this might be rude of me to say or whatever, but like the white man gave you that religion, and then you go take it like so serious. I feel like as a white person who rejected that religion, that's messed up for me. Like,
I agree with this message. Driving Miss Macy says, Russell knew he was taking a base that is vulnerable and cashes in with no remorse and dresses up like Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does. I was watching him for a while, but yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan, he's another one. I really like this comment, Voluntero. I was pronouncing your name right, Voluntero. Everyone calls everyone a grifter, and everyone is correct.
Kind of sums up that.
It kind of sums it up,
right? Whether we like it or not, we're all forced to grift or starve. But then that's putting yourself in the same box you don't want to be in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people take the opportune moment to exploit people for money. Indie media isn't any better than when it comes to grifters. Sebastian, I do agree with that as well, because I just okay, Michael, we cannot sell products. Like if we ever get big enough, I don't want to sell product. I don't want to. I just don't want to do it.
I have such a hatred for marketing in my bones that I don't know if I could do that if I wanted to, if I felt like I needed to.
That's hilarious, because my first degree is in marketing.
Yeah, well,
I hated it. I hated sales. I was like, fuck this.
I learned a bit in radio broadcasting. I had a marketing class that I had to take, and that was learning from it, like from the trying to teach you how to exploit people. I don't like how in school they normalize that behavior,
Right. All right. Voluntero says no merch. I think that's different if you're like selling merchandise for your brand, because I think people might be interested in buying that. Some people, and if you're not, you're not. But I mean like being the
Like getting
face of
sponsors.
someone else. Yeah, like getting sponsors. Because once you start doing that, and you've noticed when people start selling stuff, the way they speak changes.
Yeah.
Jimmy Dore, for example.
Cologne no
uh,
less. Yeah.
so should we finish, or
Yeah.
you wanted to say so? Okay.
Well, and I just maybe George Galloway here. He'll say in this interview that he received a um, forget what word he's a modest donation from the Tate brothers, and he's got them on their podcast now. So as far as being
Oh,
sponsored by people,
well,
yeah,
you know what? At least he disclosed it, because a lot of people wouldn't even disclose it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he has some integrity in that way.
He used to. I think
Um,
he's just losing it in his old age. So
mm, mm, mm. Um, okay, so if the merch is ethically sourced and sold at a reasonable price, then there's nothing wrong with it. So here's the thing about ethically sourced. Um, like I know RBN, their merch. I don't know where other people's merch. I just remember CJ. Somebody was asking him about where his merch came from or something, and he was just like, "We don't have the money to do ooh,
ethically sourced.
thank you, because those cost more, and then you have to put those costs onto onto the consumer. So it was just easier for them to like buy bulk from a capitalist corporation or what have you.
That's the logic of
E
capitalism.
corporate, yeah,
When you want
exactly.
to commodify and try and start a business and stuff out of something, that you think you can have that integrity of a socialist, but the market forces our behavior in a certain direction, and you have to have like the iron will to be able to resist doing the things, and you may have to kind of be self-defeating to in order to maintain integrity. This is this is kind
I
of why
mean,
we have a purity fetish to be on the left.
so it's almost like not. It's like if you don't want to be a part of a capitalist system, like I would not like to be. But look, I have an iPhone. I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
I'm on a
people
Mac
say
right
that all the
now,
time. Yeah. You
right?
use an
Like
iPhone. How are you a communist if you have an iPhone, right?
right. It is like I can, because it's there's more of them than they are of us. So that doesn't mean we can't participate in the system that we do not agree with, right?
Well,
So
it's a good
it's
thing to
really
bring up
hard.
because I have a I have a flip phone, right? Still, and I made the choice to try not to be as commodified as everyone else and just jump on the bandwagon because everyone else is doing it, and you get left behind, and it
Mm,
really has serious economic and social consequences.
mm-hmm.
Like people don't socialize with people who are Luddites as much for obvious reasons, right? You're disconnected from everyone else. You're just
Yeah.
more
Oh man,
physically
Barker. Yeah. All of our hands are dirty,
yeah,
and not even because we want it to be.
yeah. But the problem
Like,
is, what do you do when all of our hands are dirty? A lot of people just throw up their hands. They say, well, if we're all corrupt, there might as well be no point in getting rid of the corruption. We should
mm-hmm.
try and wash our hands, I think. Wash each other's hands, right? Instead,
Sean
not like the money laundering, but yeah,
Sean approves.
thank you.
Sakuoto says, I think they're talking about RBN, that their merch is union made. Um, I think now their merch. Yeah, I don't know. This was a while ago, so it might be now. I think this might have been a CJ's been gone for at least a year, right? So it had to be 2 years ago or more. So
Well,
hopefully,
Jacqueline says, that seems really unfair and shallow, Michael. I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you wouldn't mind, let me know. Because, yeah, usually don't get criticism from you. So it's, but that's okay. We don't want like an echo chamber. I'd like to hear you if
we
you have
sure
any.
don't.
Yeah.
We sure don't. Call us out. Call us out, please. I'm transitioning. Sebastian's transitioning to a flip phone. But see, here's the thing. Android has a flip phone, but like a new age flip phone. So that's still, lithium and all that stuff was
Well,
still.
I did get a smartphone like way back in the day, like when they first kind of came out, and I dropped it and broke it very quickly. And I was like, I can drop my flip phone 1,000 times and I won't break it or whatever, right? So then I went back to them, and I've had the same one for like 10 years now, but it's finally fallen apart. Like I used to have caller ID, but now I don't know if I'll be able to show you my screen just as a blank white, whatever. It used to show stuff in there, but whatever. Like,
Hey, Cobra.
okay, thanks.
Cobra Commander is here. She wasn't criticizing you, but if you were, that's fine too, Jacqueline. Everybody, nobody's free from criticism.
I think
we're okay with that.
She must have just been saying it's unfair and shallow for people to leave me behind for
I see.
things like that. But that's the way ableism works, isn't it? So
Yeah. Sakura. So they're new, so they don't. So you probably don't know that we were on CJ's channel. That's how we got started. But that's a whole nother story.
well, ironically enough, one episode I saw him when he restarted, he was giving some kind of dating advice, right? Become a male influencer. Is that the new bandwagon for jumping on? Like Andrew Tate here?
There's so many people giving relationship advice, and it's like, and then when you really find out about who they are and their relationships, it's like you need to shut the fuck up is what you need to do. You can't give me any advice on relationships. You do it, you down bad your damn self.
People are so different. It's very difficult to give advice on relationships that's gonna, like, in order to appeal to everyone, you're gonna have to give bad advice. So
Right. Yeah, I miss my BlackBerry too. I had a BlackBerry for a job, and I mean that was like the first texting, and that muscle memory, I could text so fast on that thing.
I just thought those buttons were too small for me.
Yeah, they are small. Should we get back to it or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we've been going 40 minutes already. Wow.
Jeez.
Fully recover. We pray for that outcome. They're very selective, of course, on sex cases, aren't they? I mean, for example, I watch Bill Clinton swanning around at every liberal soiree.
Yep.
When he was the most rapacious sexual predator ever to serve in the White House.
What?
He put a Havana cigar in the vagina of his teenage intern and then smoked it.
Yep.
But that hasn't crossed him off the dinner party invitation lists in Georgetown in the way that, for example, Trump, whose predatory years were less long and less predatory than Bill Clinton's.
Well, this is the thing about the subjectiveness.
What?
Not only are we talking about subjectiveness in laws, because that is a common theme you'll see in lawfare. A lot of laws are actually
like
very
pimp,
subjective, and it
basically,
decides
so
if they
it's
want to go
ridiculous.
through the efforts of trying to make it apply to you or not. But when it comes to sexual crimes, they're especially subjective.
Might as well.
And of course, everything.
Sorry, I can't hear you. Go ahead.
Sorry, I should ask you to pause it before I talk. But I'm saying,
Yeah.
it's so silly that he's saying like, they're very selective with who they decide to go after with these witch hunts. But you're talking to a man who's probably a literal pimp. So, like, did he not do any research before he brought this ban on? Apparently, he doesn't know how anymore. He's probably got a team of people he's working with. So I feel like he's got a bunch of liars working for him or some shit. Like,
And say that Bill Clinton was the most predatory. They literally have like a tunnel where they were sneaking holes into the White House all throughout White House history. Like, what are you talking about?
I'm reminded just you saying that where, like, you remember they had that photo of that gay sex in the White House? I forget what room it was, but it was pretty scandalous, you know. Like,
I must have missed that memo.
Oh, should look for that story.
Yeah, you should look for that. Hi, kill your egregores. Okay.
Oh, hey, yeah, hey, what's up, KYE?
Here we go.
Antediluvian atheist, never seen you before.
Oh, welcome. What is now? I gotta look up that word, antediluvian. I'm a life learner. I'm gonna look it up while I'm gonna press play and I'm gonna look up that word, and then we'll meet each other on the other side.
Every full-grown man has a degree of history. Plus, it damages and tarnishes your name, even if you're not convicted of anything. So it's the perfect weapon for them to find a man they don't like, look through his entire sexual history ever, lie by omission. They can speak to 1,000 girls, 999 say you're a great guy. One of them doesn't even have to say you're a bad person. They can say, I don't really remember, or he's not nice to me anymore. They can sit in a 6-hour police interview with the police constantly raining down their neck, trying to convince them to say something that they didn't even want to say in the first place. They can sign a piece of paper, and now your life and reputation are destroyed. And they've only done it because they're trying to find a crime to fit the man, as opposed to trying to fix any kind of crime in the first place. They're not trying to protect anybody. And it's very selective. They sit there and they choose.
I mean, he's not lying. I mean, we kind of talked about this already. It is very selective. They choose who they want to go after because you're not doing their bidding the way that you want the bidding to be done, or it just might be your time. Like, they're done with you and they need a distraction. So tag, you're it. Like, he's not wrong when he's saying that. No. I did look up
he knows how the game is played, right?
He knows how the game is played. Antediluvian. This is really cute. It's a really cute oxymoron that you have there. Antediluvian atheist. It says, of or belonging to the time before the biblical flood. That's the first. That's the first one. The second one says, ridiculously old-fashioned.
That's a pretty clever name.
Right? It's very clever, isn't it? I like that.
Yeah. But I wanted to say, because he's saying they can like coerce you to sign a piece of paper or whatever, and it's bullshit, but you'll do it anyway. But the whole thing that he's been accused of, the prosecution is suggesting that he has like paid or coerced his employees to go and make statements in defense of him on social media and stuff, that he's innocent and he hasn't really done what they accuse him of. But if he's like a pimp, like he's threatened, I can kill you or like ruin your life or go after your family if you don't publicly defend me. So get on doing that. And then there's also the psychological manipulation that they employ in that business to like get people with like Stockholm syndrome after they've traumatized them enough. And then people might defend him because they're like brainwashed in a sense. But that's kind of dramatic to put it that way. So
right. I just want to okay. I'm going back to the comments for a second. He was guilty as fuck. And yeah, where there's smoke, there's fire. But then I looked this up. Okay. Cobra says anti-delusion. I think it's delusion. Thank you. So I wanted to read what that was for people who
that's
might
like
not
a
know.
French philosopher guy. Pretty interesting. I've been meaning to read more of I read like the first 90 pages of his Anti-Oedipus book, but it's a kind of book I felt you need to read real slow because it's confusing. But then I heard from some of the social media people I'm watching that Deloitte's is no good. It is like the French theory people were kind of like the CIA paid Jackson Pollock and all them to make this irrational kind of influence on Marxism, and so I felt like maybe I was reading into some of the things that I would meant to read to distract and confuse me. So I stopped reading it. But then I've also heard some kind of vindication of some of what's happened recently with the ACP guys, and Daniel Tutt I never got to mention, also been attacked by these guys. He's a interesting professor. I still don't know too much about him, but he seems worth listening to for some of what he's saying. It's hard to listen to people when everyone's trying to cancel them. So.
I think you would be very interested in one of his bodies of works that's called Capitalism and Schizophrenia.
Exactly. That's why I got interested in it, right? Because I'm one of these people that's kind of gotten trapped into this, the mental health character assassination stuff. You go to the doctor for help and they put you through these assessments, and then you come out with a diagnosis that just destroys your life because the way that society is so ableist. you think you can go get a job and be on disability, but the disability welfare trap prevents you from being able to make as much money as everyone else, and they don't want to give you as many shifts or trust you with as much responsibility because you're one of the crazy ones. So
it is it's a slippery slope, isn't it?
Yeah. It's hard not to feel like you got psychosis when everything's so goddamn confusing. My issue with the psychosis diagnosis stuff is such a broad, whatever, subjective term that you can kind of accuse anybody of having psychosis as long as they don't come out like these guys, whatever, fast talkers that are really full and sure of themselves, even though they don't know what the fuck they're like. They don't actually have anything real to say. Like,
I hate a fast talker.
Yeah.
I think Cobra's apologizing to. Well, I didn't think you were saying anything mean, but he offers apologies. He thought you were a troll.
And
Daniel Tutt is very professional managerial class.
Yeah, this is kind of what the ACP guys were coming out against.
I don't know. I
he's one of these safe academics, right? That'll maybe they're thinking is holding the revolution back because they're not being bigoted enough and playing too much to the to what they're calling the gender cult and stuff. And
it's
difficult to jump in without doing all of this kind of research, which no one has time for. So,
Michael, we have a new person to welcome. Tim MC.
Nice to see you.
Welcome. Good to see you in here. Do kind things and you will feel good about yourself. Confucius, like, you don't need religion. Just what would you like people? How would you like people to treat you? Oh, okay. Well, just do that. That's really fucking easy.
Yeah. Just like this Andrew Tate guy. Some people feel that there's a need for like the Dark Knight kind of. If I need to be like seen as the bad guy so that I can do good in the world, then so be it. But that's kind of also a good slippery slope into being the bad guy in the name of the good, you know.
Cobra says they're on Twitter trolling the ACP.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's only just begun. They're so full of themselves, and they're not nearly as educated as they think they are.
Yeah.
Coming from me, maybe that's a bit of a weak comment, but
the rot has started, and once rot starts, it will spread. So that's kind of like the term, the fish rots from the head.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're not a good leader, then, I mean, your flock is going to be astray.
Well, I just think it's kind of hilarious that they're getting all up in arms about their leader getting doxxed when, what kind of a professional communist party are you going to call yourselves when your leader of your communist party insists on keeping his identity from being public? I don't think that those two things work. Like any leader of an official political party needs to be publicly known for who they are, or they could be anyone leading a whatever kind of fake organization, and you don't even know who the hell they are because they won't disclose who they are. It's ridiculous.
I'm gonna play some more, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before
I do that, I wanna say thank you, Tim MC. We appreciate you.
Yes, thanks.
We appreciate you saying that.
Appreciate you all, right? I guess now would be one of those times to say
appreciate everybody. Like share, subscribe. We always forget to do that. Some days we're like really on it, and then some days we never even mention it. And
I don't
that's
like
fine.
Self-promoting, but I gotta stop like being so shy, maybe. So yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Look, well, do you want it before I start this again? Do you want to make mention of because he said they already doxed me. Dox means when they like show your address and stuff.
Yeah, I think that they are taking liberty a little bit with the definition of being doxed, because the only thing that the doxing that happened was Danny Shaw on we showed last week. He revealed his real name, which is what I'm saying. If you're a leader of a communist party, your real name should be out there anyway. So he didn't tell people where you live. He said he lives in Dearborn, Michigan. That's not telling people your address, right? But maybe it's giving people enough side information that they could put the pieces together.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I mean, with Google Earth and all that stuff, it's easy to find people these days.
I still think you need a little bit more information than that. Like you'd have to have some sleuthing skills to be able to come up with the real info out of that, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna start this up again because I really want to get to Jimmy Dore.
Yeah.
I really want to get to them.
Well, we don't need to play this
wait.
whole thing. We could just play it until you guys are satisfied with whatever we're trying to talk about. Here.
ACP is going into bunker mode. Just calling everyone feds. Oh, if you don't agree with well, isn't that everyone's playbook? It's Russia. You're a CIA agent. Like,
well, they're very stupid.
We're all speculating.
I hear Noah's got a new little saying. He's saying, "Once a trot, always a trot," and that's like antithetical to what they were saying, what they've been saying for years now. Like one of the big things about being a Marxist is that we acknowledge that things change and that people change, and that's part of the dialectical materialism. All of a sudden, that core tenet of Marxism gets thrown right the fuck out the door because once a trot, always a trot. Fuck you, Noah. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about anymore because you let these moron feds into your fucking chat or whatever, your Discord shit, and you let them do all their dumb misogynistic stuff. And instead of going and banning them, you let them like push out all the actual authentic, earnest people who want to see real change. So good for them.
It's so interesting that you just said that because I'm gonna go back to like my Tucker Carlson example. Like people can change, yes, but I don't think he's changed because he's acting like he had no idea. Like his eyes just got wide open all of a sudden. Like bullshit. Like you didn't know. You knew what you were doing because that's what you were getting paid all that money to do.
Yeah.
So if you really have changed, then come forward with it and say, yeah, my talking points were this, and that. They wanted us to steer you into this direction. They wanted us to avoid these specific topics to keep you misinformed and not in the loop. Like if you said that, then I would give you some grace.
Yeah, it's like people
But
don't
he
believe.
hasn't done that.
It's like people don't believe in redemption anymore. Like if I come clean, I'll be burned forever, and no one will ever accept me anymore. And I think it's more maybe I'm in a minority, right? But I think if you demonstrate to me, if you convince me that you're being honest, even if you fucked up, I'll give you another chance. Maybe that's my Christian upbringing that I kind of, as much as you rejected, you've kind of been, it's instilled in you to some degree. But I don't think we need to throw out the baby with the bathwater as far as something like redemption. Just because Christians preach redemption constantly doesn't mean that they have a monopoly on these concepts.
They don't even believe that shit for them damn selves.
No, exactly.
I mean, not all Christians. I don't mean to offend people.
Right.
But a lot of them. So you've been specifically addressed.
Oh,
you can see that.
Yeah. The IR server, infrared server went the same way. Then it went to the Midwestern Mark server. Yeah. I didn't ever really spend any time in the infrared server. Like he's been, like Haz Ali Hamoud has been broadcasting for years, and apparently when he started out, he was a little bit more like a normal person, like just maybe a more normal Marxist-Leninist. But then seeing what he had to do to get the clout and the popularity, he ended up doing that embracing of the real politic, and then went downhill from there. And then he infected his behavior to the Midwestern Marx people. You see a pattern developing here. See how long it continues, right? We have, as a Marxist, you got to continue to observe to see if your suspicions are confirmed continuously, or if something actually does change in reality. And if you just assume that you're correct, you're going to miss it. So,
yes. Yeah, I am not. I'm really not mad at this interview. Like I'm actually shocked by how much I'm agreeing with him.
Well, that's what they pick your points carefully in public, right?
This is me Yes. It was wait, can you see that? Yeah. Let me get it closer. Africa Fashion Week. And that dress is actually inspired from my friend who's she was a seamstress and her husband was Indian. Okay. Hold on one second. Can you, I'm gonna start playing this can you give me just stay here for 1 second, okay? No, just stay here for 1 second. Okay, that's my mom. Just stay right there. Stay right there.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
just
So anyway, that dress was custom made for me for Africa Fashion Week in New York City. So thank you for noticing. Nobody ever notices that. So I'm gonna play this and then I'm gonna put myself on mute and talk to my mother. Okay.
Going to do it too, and who they're not. The people who are literally on Epstein's island are saying my brother and I are human traffickers because we had girlfriends before. And the whole thing is a setup and it's a joke. And then to substantiate their claim, a prosecutor types up garbage, and then the mainstream media repeats the garbage. And before you know it, everyone's out there just believing the garbage. It's kind of amazing to me after the era of COVID, after they've lied to us about Gaza, Israel, after they've lied to us about World War II, after they lied to us every single day on the television, the second they see somebody who's doing massive damage to their media sphere, to their lies, and they come up with some prosecutor papers and some garbage that people believe it at all. It's absolutely insane. And I hope all the men at home, every single man who's watching this understands that the subjectivity of sexual crimes, the fact that they can go back through your past and find a girl who retrospectively removes consent because she no longer is prepared to defend you, not because she has anything against you. She's just no longer prepared after not speaking to you for 10 years, after you've moved on and got married and forgotten her. She's not prepared to sit there and defend you for 6 hours. She just wants to get out of the room. If she's not prepared to sit there and put her life and her reputation on the line for you, that's enough for you to get wrecked. And they know this. And that's why they do it purposefully. It's absolute subjectivity. It's lawfare, and it's the perfect weapon. It's the perfect weapon because how do you prove? How do you prove retrospectively that 10 years ago or 20 years ago that Assange didn't rape a girl in Sweden? How do you even defend yourself against these things? It's incredible.
Of course, they're not the only two. I mean, Russell Brand suffered the same kind of thing. But I tell you, I discovered something. I don't know if you know this. May shock you if you don't.
I guess Galloway has
looked back.
Russell Brand's
the BBC's
video
coverage
with Rabbi Shmuley. So his whole in defense of Palestine over these past few years, he just made a fool of himself right there by not condemning Russell Brand after Due Dissidents showed recently that Russell Brand is partying it up with Rabbi Shmuley there. That should be enough evidence. I know it's not enough evidence for a court. That's why they do that kind of a public appeal. But for those of us paying attention to these narratives for the past several years, a couple of years anyway, that's not okay for someone to say that they're in support of Palestine and then to be okay with people who shake hands or give hugs to Rabbi Shmuley and who respect RFK Jr. This is kind of where George Galloway's fallen apart there. I think he also has a soft spot for RFK Jr. And that's, I don't like the canceling culture, but as far as operational security, we can't have people convincing us to accept people as allies who are our enemies. So
I'm sorry. I'm
that's okay.
Okay.
We can play the video again. I just felt I had to say that.
Okay. I'll play the video again.
of the case of you and your brother. And you know who the man was? Oh, so holy, oh, so stentorian, condemning you on the BBC. Hugh Edwards.
That's right. Those with
Hugh Edwards,
Yep.
the despicable pedophile who should be rotting in prison, but is not inexplicably, was telling people that you were a danger to young people.
It's those with dirty fingers who point. And what's most interesting about that is The BBC have managed to find the time and find the money to print negative things about my brother and I every single day for 3 years without fail, trying to psyop the populations at home that we're somehow dangerous. But when Hugh Edwards, someone who works for them, gets caught and convicted, within 48 hours, it's out of the news cycle. Which then goes into showing how important the MSM and the media is in all of these things. Because what people talk about and what people remember is simply what the media wants to print over and over and over again. When they're trying to do a wrap-up smear, when they're trying to psyop and damage the reputations of innocent men, they'll print about it every single day. They'll talk about it every single day for years. When one of their own is caught, they'll memory hole it instantly. And this is what the media has always done. I don't think a lot of people at home understand that their primary weapons are lying by omission. This is what they do. They don't have to lie outright all of the time. If they can just tell you some of the truth and ignore 85% of the truth, they can sit there and say, oh, well, we've told you the truth. We haven't lied because, look, we've told you the truth. But by missing out the whole story, missing out all the context, they're effectively.
You have to tell me to pause because I can't hear you.
I was just going to try and make a quick comment. That's what he's trying to do with his own life, though, is lie about 85% of it. Hey, what's up, Golden Monarch?
Hi, Golden Monarch. And I apologize. My mom is so we had a discussion that she doesn't need to drive after dark. You know, anybody this black people know this expression. Your ass better be home by the time the street lights come on. Well, of my generation. So we decided she was gonna have to be home by the street lights, but she said she has to go somewhere. So she was holding up her end of the bargain and talking to me about it to see if, you know, I was okay with her leaving. So that's what that was. Yeah. I know. I'm glad to hear it too. So anyway, should we go back up? Finally, independent media willing to properly call out.
Yeah, we got to get to Jimmy there. Sorry, we've been hung up on this. I got to stop making comments.
Yeah,
because said enough, you know. So.
Well, I'd like to address this because everybody's like real silent about it. They're not saying anything, and I think it's because the people who aren't saying anything, they have access to Jimmy Dore, and they don't want to lose that access. So they're like being real hush hush.
There's only one thing I want: a little bit of access. I want Jimmy Dore I want to hear what he has to say when I mention about Carl Jung's affiliations with the Nazis. If he's going to be a Jungian, impressed by Jungian psychology, I wonder if he's actively aware that Jung was a psychologist for Nazis. So
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's one of those things they don't publicize about Jung, probably for a reason.
Okay, yeah, like history is written by the victors. I have like a lot of his books.
Yeah.
And I had no idea.
I like the idea of synchronicity and what's that about the consciousness, the collective consciousness and stuff. I thought those were good ideas and stuff, but he also has some like the old-fashioned anti-Semitism where he was like convinced that the Jewish psyche was like was inferior to the German psyche, and he wrote about it and stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't hear all of that because I was trying to put her if you guys are caring for an elderly person, there's like Life 360 or Family 360 is the app where you could track their phones. For some reason, Find My Friends doesn't work for me. I don't know why. So anyway, I was trying to activate her just in case, because sometimes she gets lost and I have to go pick her up or something.
Yeah, you got to make sure.
I just wanted to make sure I knew where she was going to be if any of that happened. So that's what that was about. Is there a little more that we should do, or should we go on to Jimmy?
We might as well go on to Jimmy. I don't need to be going on all night tonight. I didn't think that this was a topic we'd be doing 3 hours on or nothing. So
yeah, I mean, I really like this interview. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, well, let's play it one more time, and then we'll put an end to it when find a good point to pause.
Lying.
Okay.
And this is what they do all of the time. They will sit there and constantly say my brother and I are accused of heinous things, which we have not done, and ignore the people on the other side of the fence who are convicted of the heinous things, making us seem like the only bad people on the planet. It's truly incredible. And the MSM media are complicit in nearly all, I would argue, basically all of the ills of the world today. You can tie back to the MSM media and their ability to keep people's minds focused on the exact wrong things or believing the exact wrong things as they sleepwalk into destruction.
It's different than the kind of acts of imagination that go with fiction.
I
History actually
mean,
happened.
that might be a good place to stop then, since we got to a commercial. But I mean, he ain't lying, and they do it from both sides. It's just like the same shit, and people have short memories.
Is telling selective truths isn't quite lying, but it is manipulating the truth all the same, I feel. So.
Okay, so here we go. Here we go with the foolishness. Let me see if I could share. Can you read this comment while I set this up?
Which one? Yeah.
There it goes.
There is no distinction between being an actual Nazi and behaving like one, and an attempt to make such a distinction is heresy. Yeah, basically, that's like people like to say if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it probably is one. So,
okay. Okay. Once we talk about this, okay, I'm in the chat. Like I'm just like, what the fuck?
You're just gonna have to blow that up a bit.
We have to. Yeah, I'll make it bigger, but like we got to go through some of these comments just to make it juicy enough. You know what I mean? Because
good point. Yeah.
This is like the first time he really got ratioed on his own show.
I don't know what he was expecting. He must have known he was going to.
I don't know, but and then for all of you comrades on the chat, like who would comment about Jimmy Dore when this wasn't coming up, if you don't mind like re-commenting, because there's no way I'm going to be able to find those comments. If you want me to, play them, or if you don't, that's cool too. So here we go with this bullshit right here.
Accused of giving Nazi salute during the Trump inauguration celebrations.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did that. He gave a Nazi salute. You're not just trying to make it look like that.
Again, you have an autistic guy who gets overwhelmed with emotion.
I'm gonna stop right there, because how fucking dare you blame autism? I don't know any autistic person that's just running around doing Nazi salutes. It's you know what it is? It's insulting. Black Life has a master's degree in special education. She works with kids with autism and special needs all the time. They ain't running around doing Nazi salutes. Like that never happens. Now there are some kids that they call it shit, I forgot when they do this with their hands. It's called speeding, or I forget. But they'll do this.
They do stimming or something?
Spinning or speeding, something. I can't remember. I haven't, because that's not my profession, but they'll do that. And those are like the really, they're higher up on the spectrum, like HFA or what have you. But autistic people also are expected to behave in stimming. Thank you, Sulamoon. Sulamoon is here.
Cool. Yeah.
Stimming, yes. Yeah. Like it's like how cats they do the zooming, kind of same thing. Stimming. Yeah. Thank you, Sean.
It's kind of like conflating and being an antisocial person, because a lot of autistic people are really, really withdrawn and they're awkward socially. So he's saying he did this because he's an awkward social person. He doesn't know what his actions would be construed as offensive. And you're trying to conflate like anti-communism with antisocial behavior. And I don't even feel like I don't think that Musk is properly autistic. I feel like there's been a lot that's changed with the definition of autism over the years. And now like if you look since like in the 1970s, 1 in 5,000 was autistic. Now, as of like 2024, it's like 1 in 37 is autistic. So that's not normal.
Companies have a lot to do with that.
There's something wrong there. So
yeah, money, capitalism. Um, Jacqueline says another autism trait. Well, one of her eldest grandsons bites their hand really hard. Another trait, because everybody's different, is walking on your tippy toes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he doesn't.
They're different. Yeah, but no Nazi salutes. That's not a trait. But anyway, should we get back? Let me see. Sula Moon says my son and I are on the spectrum, and my cousin's son is the autistic savant, and none of us give Nazi salutes. Exactly. So
well said.
I feel like that was very offensive to people who are on the spectrum, and we're just 32 seconds in.
Yep, but
So
not to mention, I think people are forgetting. I think Musk is considered to have Asperger's, and if you know the history of the doctor, forget his name, Hans Asperger or whatever, the guy who coined the term was another doctor working for under the Nazis. People, there's the problem with the doctors during the time of the Nazi regime. It's a bit hard to tell which of them were voluntarily working with them because they supported their ideas, and which of them were coerced and didn't want to just lose their job or whatever, so they went along with it even though they were under duress. I think that enough evidence has come out about Mr. Asperger that he did help them murder autistic children. They euthanized them, and the differentiation in the definition, Asperger's was the ones that the Nazis felt were intelligent enough or fit enough to be allowed to survive, and those with the autistic diagnosis were considered unfit, needed to be removed from the gene pool. So it's extremely concerning that people are not knowing of this history, and they're trying to make forgiveness for a Nazi as if he's just autistic, when you know that the Nazis would kill him for being autistic. So, yeah.
We're gonna get into that because he's talking about Zionists versus Nazis as if you can't be a Zionist and a Nazi at the same time type of shit. But it's coming.
He's just ignoring all this back history. The more you know about Musk, the more you understand that it's very plausible that he is a Nazi. All this stuff that he says on social media stuff.
I mean, it's not like his father wasn't a. We'll get into that. Yeah. But I want to make you laugh.
Eugenics, yeah. Definitely. It's like,
you know what? That term eugenics is like a kid. Are you wearing pants at this point? It's just.
It's gonna be my thing. People are gonna. If anyone remembers me for anything,
knows you.
That's fine. I feel I need to do it because I think we need to raise awareness that eugenics are back. The Nazis are back and never really went away. And if you think that we're not in a eugenic society today, you're trying not to pay attention. So.
So, I mean, and I think this is nice, all these comments, because most Americans know someone who's on the spectrum. So we know that being on the spectrum doesn't mean you just awkwardly throwing out Nazi signs. It doesn't make any sense. The math ain't mathing on this one. Sorry. Yep.
That's a bit of a long one. Again, like I said, there's evidence that shows Hitler had autism and possible gender dysphoria. Once the right learns this, they will weaponize it. These things do not negate agency. That's one of these things about the whole, victim Olympics kind of thing, play the victim card. That's what he's trying to do. He's just an autism, or he's just an autistic person, wherever. Look how you bullies, or whatever, attacking him for his accidental, whatever, twitch. It's like, and as far as Hitler being possible gender dysphoria stuff, it's a lot it reminds me of these priests and stuff that are diddlers that are always preaching or whatever, never
not the diddler,
never touch anybody, and then in the closet they're evil. So
Tim MC, thank you for this. Nazi and Zionist or other words for white supremacists. Hello. Okay, so are we ready?
Yeah.
Should we go to Monarch? As one with functioning autism, I refuse to acknowledge Musk as one of us. You see what I'm saying? You see how offensive people who are on the spectrum is really fucking offensive. I'm not even on the spectrum, and I'm offended.
Well,
but
I feel
anyway,
like-
okay, 32 seconds in. But
That's
go
fine,
ahead.
yeah.
You feel like before I play, you feel like what?
Oh, now I'm just kind of blanking a bit because we'll.
Okay, that's fine.
It'll come back.
Driving Me Macy says a billionaire using a disability as an excuse for his actions. Give me a
That's
break.
what I was going to say. I think it would be hard for me to believe that an autistic person would be the richest person in the world like that. That's the characteristics of a psychopath, not an autistic person.
Okay, here we go. We're only 32 seconds in. It's an 18-minute clip. Here we go.
And he says, "I'm giving you my heart." That's what. So you got. He should have did it like this. Why did he just do it like this?
Rogan was like, you use both
it's
hands.
very. This is very tricky. That's this or this. Oh, when you do it like that, no good. This. Oh, we love you. That. Oh, Heil. What are you doing? So
he's autistic.
He's autistic. It was stupid of that. Yeah, but you really think after 8 years of calling Donald Trump literal Hitler and saying that he's Putin's puppet and all, even after all, now you're going to switch, you're going to pivot to, oh, Elon Musk, he's the secret Nazi. Oh my God, he's been hiding it this whole time. You know, he's a huge defense contractor, right? But he's a secret Nazi. That's what he's been hiding it from everybody.
Have you been hiding it? Because you grew up in South Africa, apartheid South Africa. So have you really been hiding it?
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
his father was involved with the Technocracy Incorporated movement.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he grew up in Canada, and then he left Canada because they banned that organization. And he went to South Africa, and then Elon Musk goes and he makes a company, a big tech company. He works with the government,
his grandfather, they were in Canada or something. His grandfather was like a Nazi sympathist. Yeah. I think that's how they got to South Africa in the first fucking place, or something. Yeah. His dad owned a emerald mine, and I've misspoken in the past. I said in South Africa, but it was actually in Zambia.
Oh.
Because I did a little research about it.
Yeah.
Because his dad has been giving interviews, by the way.
I just heard
his dad gave an interview about this.
I haven't actually looked into the history myself of his dad and stuff, but I hear this stuff. Everyone talks about it for a reason. So yeah, I'll be curious to see what his dad's saying, I guess, if he's doing interviews. So, but we didn't prepare that for today. I don't know if we need to platform that, but if you're interested.
Bad Cookie says, yeah, Noteworthy just lost access to Jimmy Dore, as if we ever had it.
Yeah, whatever.
But I'd like to say this about him. Because when I really first started getting into him, and I was like, yeah, I like this. I went back to his videos from 2016. I watched all of them. And I was really into him. So when I say something ain't right, I know for a fact because I went back and watched all of his interviews on purpose because I really liked what he had to say. And I thought it was funny. What I also noticed about losing access, if somebody questions him or seems smarter than him, somehow they ain't on the show no more. What's his name? He's
Danny Haifong?
Danny Haifong, yes. Yeah. He used to correct Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore ain't like that shit. And then we ain't never seen Haifong again. He just kept canceling people just because they, question him about any little thing. That's why Kurt is a little fucking puppy dog.
Mm-hmm. Well, he likes to talk up. I don't know. I haven't listened to him as much. I don't know if he says it as much as he used to. But he used to make pains to say, "I'm just a pothead comedian in my garage." Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit funny that he likes to feel like he's that self-effacing kind of thing. I'll say that I'm stupid because everyone expects me to say that, whatever. But for self-deprecating.
Oh, that goes back to that journalist who passed away, David.
David Graeber.
Graeber, thank you. His last name always escapes me. Who talks about like that's their shtick, to act like they're dumb, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're playing a role, and I feel like Jimmy Dore has been playing a role all this time. I'm just a pothead comedian, and he always said, "I'll sell out. I just name your price. Like nobody's come to me. I'll sell out. I think you got your price." I mean, that's how it's feeling to me. Y'all can tell me what y'all think. I don't know.
I feel like comedians are pretty smart, or you got to be kind of smart to be a successful comedian, right?
When was the last time Max Blumenthal and Aaron Mate were on Jimmy's?
Good point.
Yeah. Okay. Danny, who? I don't know. Oh, Danny Haifong. No, that was a long time ago. But Danny Haifong was recently on there. I watched it. It was about China. And that new app, Red Note. So he was on there recently, and I was shocked because I was like, wow, Danny Haifong's run with Jimmy Dore was like at least 7 years ago.
Well, Danny Haifong, he's a little suspicious to me because I've picked up that Scott Ritter's not really a trustworthy voice, but he gets platformed by all these people like Danny Haifong, Sabby Sabs, and George Galloway. And that doesn't mean that like they're not trustworthy. But also like Danny also does these clickbait titles, and that's like it doesn't mean that he doesn't have like valuable things to say, but it just makes me feel like he's less authentic than I thought he was.
Sula Moon, the world is a stage. Yeah. So I just look at everything as if I'm watching a movie. Just to try to put it in perspective. I'm just watching a movie.
I feel like that you kind of lose a bit of the materialism if you think it's like a hasty generalization. Like if all the world's a stage, that means that even if you want to be real, that we are incapable of being real ourselves because we're all just actors. It's kind of like a learned helplessness thing. But then the reason why you say like it's really hard not to feel that way, because every time you try and put your faith in somebody, they end up just being another backstabber. So.
Well, I mean, I feel like we're human too. So sometimes we might be in a situation where another person feels like the world is a stage with us because we aren't being our best selves at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's like we have our biases and other people see us. We can't see ourselves from the outside. So who knows?
We only at
yeah,
I was
let's
about
play
to say a dollar and a quarter in. Okay, here we go.
And he decided when Trump got to become president, he decided to just let it out. You think that's
Ryan
really?
Grimm says that.
Yeah, it was stupid that
he
he
get the benefit of the doubt because he supported the far right party in Germany. Ryan Grimm's a scumbag, dude. He really is.
Yeah, of course he is. Ryan Grimm called the guys and covering the truckers in Canada. He called those guys right-wing white supremacists. They did all that stuff.
because some plant with a fake.
That's right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, they're scumbags. All right, so here he did it twice. So let's watch the first one.
Thank you.
Oh, and he was like,
My heart goes out to you.
Unambiguous. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
So remember when Ben Shapiro and Rabbi Shmuley dragged Elon to Auschwitz? Do you remember that? Do you think Elon gave them his heart like that then?
I hope not.
I hope not. So so that's both of them. So yes, that was I bet if he had that to do over again, he would do it like this.
Hey.
All he had to do is do it like that.
It's counterfactual though.
But again, he didn't. It was
you could say that all you like. There's no situation in reality where this is going to happen over again. Like it's in the past now. You can't say that this could happen again in exactly the same context again in the future. Now he knows about the public reaction. If he does it like this next time or whatever, you still can't trust that he's not a Nazi. So that's just like low IQ stuff from Jimmy, right?
Well, first of all, let me compliment you on your little stream down here, Jimmy Haktua Musk.
Yeah,
That's pretty fucking clever.
Think of some
and
stuff.
Also, I wanted to acknowledge we missed you.
Oh, hey, Kate.
They came home early and they were able to catch the live stream. That's awesome. We're glad to see you again. Okay, so I'm gonna let it play some more so we can. But before you start talking, like wave or say pause or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you really think if he was a real Nazi, don't you think he would keep it a little more on the DL? Don't you think? And I'm not, but boy, you know, I don't know anything about Elon Musk personally. I don't know much about him. I think he sired kids with like 5 different women or something. So he's virile. But
he's African American.
You know, so he could, I guess he could be
You know what? That little dig, he's African American. Fuck you, Kurt. First of all, we didn't ask for that term. It was hoisted upon us. Kurt really like gets my goat.
Yeah, that's disrespectful there, but that's like, oh, what did I say? Whatever, like pretending ignorant. You know that's rude. Like,
right? You got to know that that's rude. You little. Well,
but they're anti-woke people, right? I'm not trying to be petty. They embrace the idea that wokeism is what the right-wing people say it is. So.
And the DEI and all that stuff. Ugh. Anyway, hi, welcome. Dreaming of a better day. You didn't see this? Well, girl, strap in.
Oh,
here we go. Okay, here we go.
A rock star, put it that way, right?
He's Wilt the Still Chamberlain.
He could be Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah. He's Wilt Chamberlain. Didn't Wilt Chamberlain said he had sex with 1,000 women? Didn't he say that, or more than that?
Like more. I don't know if it was Gene Simmons' numbers. Yeah. Gene Simmons is like 5,000. That's pretty gross. Gene Simmons, you're gross.
So Elon Musk says, frankly, they need better dirty tricks. The everyone is Hitler attack is so tired.
It is.
So he just 2 seconds ago, everybody was saying that he's a Zionist. Remember that? And
right. Well, yeah.
So which is it? Is he a Zionist or is he a Nazi?
Well, he said.
Can you not be a Zionist and a Nazi at the same fucking time?
Those are not mutually.
It's all. They're not mutually exclusive. Yeah. It's all about white supremacy. So why couldn't you be? Because Zionists don't give a damn about Jews.
Yeah,
they have their own agenda. So what are you talking about?
We've seen people in Ukraine with both the Black Sun and the Star of David and stuff being active supporters of Israel and Ukraine at the same time. Like, it's very possible, especially the more like historical analysis you do, as long as you actually know the real history. That's kind of what the problem is. Like the CIA people, like they distort history so much. That's what they're banking on. That when you try and do your research, you're not going to be able to find the real history to even research. So.
Yeah.
As far as like why he was trying to say earlier, like, wouldn't it be more important for them to keep it on the down low if they're really a Nazi? Not if you understand like the exact moment in history that we're in right now. The American empire with electing Trump, it's the mask off moment that they've been a Nazi in hiding for ever since the end of the Second World War. They knew that they couldn't be open Nazis. They've been preparing the stage for them to be able to come back out of the closet. Now is the moment that they have to do that in order for them to do what they need to with power. There's right-wing governments taking over all over the West, like every Western country. Now is the old, like, they need to do this. I'm thinking the reason why he's doing this salute thing is there's these young, dumb, 17-year-old, whatever kind of kids who don't know anything about anything, who are happily willing, like, to believe this white replacement theory stuff. And by him, such a big public figure doing this openly, they're galvanizing support from the useful idiots who are willing to openly embrace Nazism once again, which we've been trying to make sure would never happen again. So Jimmy Dore is being very useful idiot right here.
Why is he so worried about defending Elon? It is fucking weird.
Yeah.
Look. Speaking of eugenics, here we go. Golden Monarch. Damn, it won't click. I don't know what's happening.
What?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. There we go. Bitcoin Nazi. Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Golden Monarch is our Bitcoin go-to.
Aficionado. Yeah.
Aficionado. Yeah, we gotta have him back on.
Well, just remember who was using Starlink for their war. It was the Ukrainians against the Russians, right? So, if you were against Nazis, at least you wouldn't have let them do that, eh, Musk?
Hey, Musk. And that's right, Dad Cookies. Jimmy wants access to Elon Musk. It's the same thing about why nobody's calling him out for this, because they still want to have access to Jimmy, because Jimmy has a huge influence in independent media. But okay, let's keep going. We're only 4 minutes in.
If he doesn't want personal access to Musk, he at least wants to be not blacklisted on Twitter so he can make money. So.
That's a good point. Okay, so we're only 4 minutes into this bullshit.
Something where he got in trouble and they took him to Auschwitz. He had to go with Ben Shapiro to Auschwitz with Rabbi Shmuley. Max Blumenthal was talking about it. I don't remember what he said, but he's like been officially declared not a Nazi by the official organization that tells if you are.
I mean, hey, if you don't like the results of autism, maybe don't force kids to get 72 vaccines. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Hey, and I'm not saying vaccines cause autism. That's not what we're saying. I'm saying that that's a funny joke. So Ruth Ben Diat, a professor of history a professor of history and fascism. I didn't know you could be, but you are. You could be a professor of fascism at NY University. Wrote on Twitter that the gesture was a Nazi salute and a very belligerent one too. But guess who doesn't say that? The Anti-Defamation League. You know, the Jewish organization that runs around calling everybody anti-Semites. They say
Azov, who they declare.
Dude, you spent your entire career discrediting the ADF. I mean, the ADL. His entire career. And now all of a sudden he's quoting them as if they are the barometer of anti-Semitism.
Yeah, this is like selective hearing kind of bullshit.
What is happening?
It's as if they forget that there can be no, I think like Bonapartism is the right term to use here, where as if the ruling class can never get into some infighting of their own, as if the left is the only one that eats itself sometimes.
Oh my God, it's just, my brain was, I had to like, you know, like breathe in 5 times, hold it, breathe out through your mouth 10 times slowly. I had to do that because I was so fucking angry watching this. Tim MC says, I like Kurt better when he had hair and played drums for the Muppets. I just thought we needed a little joke in here because this is really disheartening. It really makes me angry.
As much as we can laugh at this, if you're taking it, if you're sober about it, this is infuriating stuff to watch. It's an example of how weak the left is, kind of thing.
I never thought I'd see that. I really love the contrast of the 2 videos we're playing tonight, because I never thought I would be like on Andrew Tate's side and against Jimmy Dore this much.
Yeah, well,
it's like my mind is blown.
I'm thinking you're only a bit more on Andrew Tate's side because you maybe don't know as much about him, right?
No, I don't like him. I do not like him.
Right.
I'm just saying the stuff that he was saying made sense.
He's being a more effective agent, if anything.
Yeah,
right?
tonight. But mostly the things he says, I'm like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
So I just thought it was very interesting, the information he was putting out in that specific interview. Only. Other than that, I'm not for his ass.
I can sympathize with some of the things he says too, as far as he's trying to say like young men have it really hard right now, and if you're gonna need like a revolution or something, you're gonna need the young men to kind of fight it for you and stuff. And there's some truth to that, right? But you're really ignoring the elephant in the room of the misogyny there. Like Cobra is saying, like almost all women are abused by men at some point in their life. And Andrew Tate's the kind of person who would flat out deny that and sort of say, like, I think he's made comments about how feminism is destroying the West. But you left out the distinction of liberal feminism destroys the West because it's not anti-imperialist. So it's not really feminism. They don't actually care about women, black and brown women in third world countries being bombed by the West. You just think
so it's basically what he was saying about the omission of information. So you're not lying, but you're not telling the entire truth.
exactly.
Type of thing. Bad cookies. Yes, so once we get through this, we're gonna get through this, and then when you look at the comments, a lot of people are saying this. They're like, "Oh, Jimmy is just trying to pander to his right-wing base because, he needs to make money. He needs to."
He doesn't though. I thought he's wealthy enough at this point. Some people don't know how much wealth they need to retire. I feel like he could burn his bridges with everybody and survive. Unlike me, who already has my bridges mostly burned with everybody, and I got fucking nothing, like no money to protect me for that or whatever. With all this tariff war about
He could sell that big ass house and move to the Midwest or something. Move to the South and live real comfortably.
If he'd be willing to live modestly, but I guess he's gotten used to the high life. So.
Okay, so should I continue?
Yeah.
While he defends the Anti-Defamation League,
yeah. Well, I just want to see
that is defending. Oh, go ahead.
Before we get back into the video, let's just Cookie says, even if Jimmy likes you, it doesn't guarantee he'll even give you access. As much as he loves Cabello, he kisses up to Jimmy hard, and Jimmy barely acknowledges him. So yeah.
Like I mentioned, you'll come on Jimmy's show, and once he feels like you are challenging him or you are smarter than him, he cuts you off. That's why I noticed over the years of watching him, all the different co-hosts he had. Whatever happened to Ron Bacone?
Yeah. Well, and they have the Due Dissidents guys sometimes will be on Jimmy's show, like caretaking for him while he's away. And I'm remembering one of the things that they said is, we don't actually have to give you our time. People have busy lives, okay? It is something of a privilege that we are spending our time listening to you, Jimmy Dore. So if you're going to be too ridiculous and too much of a useful idiot for the baddies that we all don't want to be on side with, we don't need to listen to you. We have better things to do. Anyway.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, no, you're fine. Okay, should I press play?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Declared not Nazis now.
So here's what the by the way, this person, Ruth, who said it was a Nazi salute, she wrote that on Twitter.
Yeah.
You mean Space Hitler's Nazi platform? Boy, these Nazis sure are nicer than the Nazis in Ukraine who put me on a kill list.
Yeah, Space Hitler, let her say it on his thing, right?
Yeah,
That's
Space Hitler. So here's what the ADL says. This is a delicate moment. It's new day, and yet so many are on edge. Our politics are inflamed, and social media only adds to the anxiety. It seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm. Not a Nazi salute, but again, we appreciate that people are on edge.
What?
So that's the ADL saying he made an awkward gesture. He should have went like this, but he didn't.
Yeah.
That's very key. You got to have your hand like that, not like that. Very key. And I know some people are gonna screen grab that.
Yeah, you're trying to get a cab.
Yeah, when I try, I'm trying to get a cab.
You're trying to. That's the original Pledge of Allegiance hand gesture.
So
that's
the ADL says that Elon's not a Nazi, and it's up to them at the end of the day, for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why, but they did get the official. All media is supposed to go by what the ADL says, such as with the Azov Battalion. Remember? That's why we all forgot Azov were Nazis suddenly, because the ADL signed off on them not being Nazis.
So if the ADL doesn't think that hand gesture was a Nazi salute, That can only mean one thing, Kurt, that the ADL is now run by Nazis.
Oh no!
Yes.
They get into everything.
Aaron Astor, a history professor
should pause it,
at
maybe.
Maryland College in Tennessee, supported
there.
the ADL's.
Pretty sure that's a 180 degree from these guys, because didn't they last year? Weren't they? I don't know. I have to watch his. I don't know if I have to go watch back his stuff, whatever, just to find his comments about that. But weren't they, like with everyone else in the independent media, recognizing that the ADL is like a lapdog for the Zionists?
Yes.
Calling it out.
Yes.
Now they're fucking completely flip flopped or whatever. That's suspicious as hell.
Yes.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like.
Yes, if you know Jimmy Dore, you know he would shit on the ADL any chance he got. Now he's using them as proof. What the fuck is happening here?
This is where, as far as the devil's advocate,
I don't know. I'm excited.
I was saying before. I think when we were talking yesterday offline, if we're gonna be a bit of a devil's advocate and give a benefit of the doubt to Jimmy, the one thing that I can think of that makes sense can explain why he would do this is blackmail. If they threatened him, his life or his family or his livelihood, maybe he's doing this out of duress. But it doesn't seem like
Bernie Sanders, because they were trying to put his wife in jail. That kind of stuff.
I don't know. I guess.
Thank you, Bad Cookies, for acknowledging that. We appreciate that, because nobody saw RBN ain't saying shit. Good Dissidents ain't saying shit. And they both Jews. I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Why is nobody looking at this and being like, yeah, bad take. Even if you don't want to like throw him away for good, you could at least call him out and say, yeah, what you're saying right now, this ain't right, and let's debate it or discuss it, but this isn't gonna fly. Like, we can't let you get away with this shit right here.
I think this is what happens when people start to embrace the idea that you need to have pragmatism over like idealism sort of thing, where like it's this purity fetish idea of, well, we can't cancel these people for having some wrong takes every now and again. So you're going to let them say everything and anything and they can get away with anything now? Like, where's the antithesis of the purity fetish idea? Because we need one. So.
Sorry, guys. My mouse doesn't work as fast as I need it to sometimes. I wanted to let you know, Michael, that John H. is here.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Good to see you.
Hi, comrade. Okay. So, should we keep going in the...
Let's get this video out there. Yeah. We're an hour and 45, so we want to maybe...
wrap it up soon. Okay. Maybe I won't play all of. I want to show. I really want to get to some of these comments of how he's being ratioed by his own people.
Position, and he said on the Space Nazis platform Twitter that it was not a Nazi salute. So there you go. You got two competing eggheads, and that's something.
No one thinks he did a Nazi salute. The most I've seen, even if they're trying to say
No, they are saying it.
Well, no, but they all know he's not. What they're going, he's trolling by going, I am a Nazi and I gotcha. It's such a nonsense thing to weigh in on, because clearly autism's everywhere. You've seen him dance around his dumb truck. The guy isn't coordinated.
He's a very socially awkward dude. So here's what this guy Aaron Astor says. He says, I've criticized Elon Musk many times for letting neo-Nazis pollute this platform, but this gesture is not a Nazi salute. This is a socially awkward autistic man's wave to the crowd where he says, my heart goes out to you. That's what it is. Was it Adolf Hitler? Was it Adolf Hitler, Kurt, who famously said, my heart goes out to you? Or was it Bill Clinton? I always get those two mixed up.
But see,
however, Musk's actions appear to have enthused neo-Nazis and white nationalist groups.
If you're a nobody.
So now
you didn't say pause.
Sorry, I was trying to say pause. I was saying, I think they're trying to pigeonhole anybody who comes out and says that it is a Nazi salute. They say, oh, well, only liberals say that it, or only a nobody has an opinion. Anyone who's somebody knows that it's just like what crazy people do are all or whatever, online, all the terminally online people, or whatever, think it's a salute. Whatever. They just use any kind of gaslighting punching bag, you know, to dissemble.
I just. Whew. Thank you, Bad Cookies. The autism defense is a joke. If Jimmy Dore stands can't see his grift by now, then they don't care. It's that simple. I mean, and I'm torn because I still want to watch because he uncovers stuff that isn't on the mainstream. A lot of times, like different podcasters have different stuff, so I still want to watch. But now I'm watching you with one eye open. Like I don't, not that I trusted you at all, but now I'm just fucking disappointed in you to the point where I even want to watch him? I unsubscribed because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch you on my own terms when I feel like it. I'm not gonna give you any energy like that.
Every time
we got a new person up in here.
Hey, what's up? No, I don't think you understand our content. If you're just watching for the first time.
We're starved for positive content.
We're not hate watchers. We don't usually find videos so that we can indulge in Schadenfreude. I'm very against that. We felt that it was necessary to talk about this today. And it happened that with the Andrew Tate interview and the Jimmy Dore thing, it seemed like a good juxtaposition. So.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you agree with us or not.
Yeah.
That's fine. You're not going to, sway us on our opinion, but you're welcome to your own. And if you want to defend a colonizer doing a Nazi salute, that's good on you, baby. Go for it.
Hopefully you wake up
one day. On my back.
Yeah.
You don't. I'm still gonna wake up tomorrow happy.
I don't need anyone trying to convince me that we're wrong about the ADL there. We've seen enough bullshit from them. They've completely tarnished their reputation.
Look, they say disagreeing with the ADL, who's the saluter now? Huh? That don't even make no fucking sense. But okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. But look,
yeah. Don't feed the trolls like this.
Well, no, they're welcome to stay, and you're welcome to say what you want to say, whatever. But if you want to fuck around and find out, do it. So should I keep going with the video? Yeah. Okay.
You're responsible. So now you're responsible for every ass wipe in the world, the way they react on what you say.
You're quoting Blood Tribe. You know who that is? The guy that loved Biden for sending missiles to Ukraine. Remember that video we played?
Jake Uger did that to me. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I remember that. Jake Uger did that to me when he went on the Hill and said neo-Nazis like what Jimmy Dore said. It's just this is the most disgusting trick. Rolling Stone magazine, which is the most discredited magazine in the world. The people who lied about ivermectin, lied about COVID, lied about Joe Rogan, lied about everything. They're deep state actors at Rolling Stone. So they're saying that the neo-Nazis are big. They're loving it.
I don't care if it's a mistake. I'm going to enjoy the tears over it. So all the morons going, it's a Nazi thing, they're laughing at. So really they're reacting like every other normal person for once. The fake government-sponsored neo-Nazi Blood Tribe.
Mondowai says Elon Musk did a Hitler-adjacent salute to the Trump rally, and the ADL rushed to defend him, calling it an awkward moment of enthusiasm. This is the same ADL who is the CEO called tweeting "Free Palestine" a thin at him anti-Semitic. So they're pointing out, look at they have. Okay. Okay. Those two things don't really have anything to do with each other.
A Hitler adjacent salute. So if he had his hand out like this, that would be you got to stop putting adjacent on things, morons. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. You know what's far right adjacent? The left. Left, right. That's what
Sorry.
I mean, the way he's just like Kurt, how he just calls people morons and dummies and you dumb fucks and all, like, it's a bit much.
Yeah. Well, the intellectual abuse is all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The verbal abuse is a bit much, I think. Like, what is your purpose?
It's so normalized now that people can't understand there's something wrong with being intellectually abusive. You're a liberal if you think that intellectual abuse is a problem. And this Schadenfreude stuff is exactly why all of this is possible, you know? Like, people get clicking on videos just to hate on stuff, and then they get all like, they don't care about the truth because they'd rather just indulge in somebody getting their comeuppance, right? So
this is kind of hilarious. Volunteero says, maybe if you're autistic, you don't realize you're a Nazi. I love the sarcasm. Yeah, he does this a lot throughout here. Like, okay, he's saying morons. And then I think he calls people dipshits, or I mean, it's just a lot of verbal abuse that it's like, okay, say it to my face, because you're gonna be in that fuck around and find out stage at some point. Because everybody don't take kindly to that. Like, you're gonna meet the right one on the wrong fucking day.
they'll just probably try and mock the shit out of us if we find our if they ever see us face to face, wherever they ever talk to us, right? They'll talk to us like they've done with other people. They'll maybe pretend to be like, for the moment, like they're being serious and giving you a chance, but then the next day they go, oh, what a fucking loser, what a moron, I can't believe I actually took the time to talk to that person. One thing I really hate is, you're too stupid to talk to. Fuck you people who like to say that, okay? Because that's eugenic, okay? There's a eugenic influence on you, right?
Not the eugenics.
You're so fucking stupid that I'm gonna social murder you now, because you don't deserve to be given the time of day. I don't need to waste my precious moments. My intelligence doesn't need to suffer the exposure to your idiocy or whatever. That's fucking eugenic intellectual abuse, okay? Maybe I'm wrong about it. Maybe you're right. Whatever, okay?
Yeah, whatever. This is a good point that we hadn't mentioned yet. Tim MC says Elon has been trying out for Führer, thank you, with the German far right lately. But are they called the AFD?
Yeah, we hadn't even mentioned
AFD,
that. AFD,
right? We hadn't even mentioned that yet.
When you know enough about Elon's background, it's really hilarious that these guys think they can get away with running cover for this motherfucker. So
he like did a speech at the AFD where he was talking about you shouldn't feel bad for not diluting your culture. What the fuck that's supposed to mean? Like, wait a minute. You were in South Africa. What, you diluted a whole fucking country. So what are you saying? It's okay. It's okay when we do it. It's a problem when they do it.
This like racial purity kind of stuff. Like my culture is at risk of being diluted by being exposed to another culture. You understand that all cultures develop through like interaction with each other. It's like evolution, you know, like nothing exists in isolation, right? No man is an island. That's ridiculous.
I'm gonna run through these comments real quick. Bad Cookie says, I love me some shortened frog, Nahilo Nordstrom. At the end of the day, Jackman says, it was just an arm gesture. Even if that arm gesture is symbolic of the worst atrocities ever, but there's no denying that Musk is backing parties who are involved in it. I don't know if I would say at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, you can't look at me in my face and call me the N-word, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Well, I
just don't see at the end of the day it's just a arm gesture. That really means something to people whose ancestors were deeply affected by it, and people who lost people, and
think about
their whole mental PTSD and their genetics and their DNA was affected by it. It's just not, at the end of the day, it's not a simple nothing.
And I think if you're trying to ask yourself if they knew that that this was gonna happen, like he was gonna do this, they planned it ahead of time or something, why are they deciding to do that at this moment in front of the world like that. I think Trump just had his inauguration. He's passing all these different, like, really controversial first day signing into law stuff, and they need some huge distraction so that people aren't like they're putting all of their hatred and indulging in their schadenfreude against Elon Musk instead of focusing on attacking, like MAGA maybe is ready to turn on Trump for being betrayed by Trump. What do? We have something that will distract them, confuse them, make them forget about what they're really mad about. So I don't know. That's a theory of mine. So.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing with people saying, that just don't sit well with me. Like, it's okay, it's just a salute. That don't sit well with me.
It's all about that spectacle, like the Baudrillard's idea of like what we're saying about it's all a stage or whatever. They're trying to make sure that it's only everything only ever stays focused on what's on the stage and never look behind the stage or whatever. Never see who's the Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah. See, I knew Volunteer was a troll. I knew it. You're a troll I respect too.
Volunteer is a troll like Bad Cookies is a troll, or whatever. The troll for the forces of good.
Abby, did you not take notice of the even if that arm gesture was symbolic of the worst atrocities ever? Actually, well, first, I'm really not understanding what you're.
I think she's saying that asking. At the end of the day, even though how much everyone is offended by it, it is just him raising his arm. Like if you think about it, like there are so many more serious and important things like to be offended about, but people tend to find the one thing that they can rage about that will not change anything by getting angry about it. Like, well,
may I just say first, it was the worst atrocity that happened on film, not the worst atrocity, because chattel slavery throughout Africa and in North America were more atrocious because it was a long enduring atrocity that wasn't filmed. So no, the Holocaust is not the worst atrocity that has ever happened.
But you'll get attacked for saying that.
That's my humble opinion, and I'll get attacked for saying it, and that's okay. I'll stand my ground, and I'll hold my own, and I don't need anybody else to defend me. I can defend myself, but that's my opinion, and it's not really an opinion; it's kind of a fact. But whatever. The Holocaust, but also, like, why would you go out of your way to disrespect people who've already been oppressed in a way? Like, why? What's the purpose? What are you doing?
Just the Holocaust narrative has definitely been like used a lot by the Zionists to try and like make sure that only they're allowed to talk about the Holocaust in the way that they want to talk about it and stuff. And if anyone ever has any dissenting opinion about the history around the Holocaust, then they must be a Nazi, even though the Zionists are the ones working with the Nazis to make sure you can't talk about the Holocaust anymore.
And I need to clarify, because sometimes you like talk or text and the way it comes across is not the way you meant it. Jacqueline, I wasn't trying to say that you were going out of your way to hurt people. I was just, it's like an umbrella statement. Because I know you're a gem. You always have been. You always have been. So I didn't. I thought it might have came across wrong, and I didn't mean it. So I want to make sure you know that. So should we?
You want to finish the video a bit, or?
Yeah, should we keep going a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, wait, Jacqueline's clarifying. So let's do that first. She said, what I'm saying is that people should be more worried about Elon donating and backing far-right parties. Mm-hmm. His arm gesture was offensive, but it's the least about. Okay, I see.
It seems
that.
like he's in agreement with what I'm saying.
Yeah, I see what you're
It's a
saying.
distraction. It's a clever distraction because it gets
It's a
people
clever. Okay,
attention.
yeah.
But it's also, as much as it's a clever distraction, it's also highly offensive, and there is a reason to like make public statements condemning it, because we have to not normalize
Because
this
it
behavior.
gives, yeah, you can't give people a pass. You can't normalize stuff that isn't normal, like in a functioning society. So I get what she's saying. It is a distraction because they just want us to talk about it, and meanwhile they're passing, like, maybe we should go over all these executive orders and all this stuff that they've been doing in the background while we're talking about this stupid fucking salute. Um,
It's
so
a
I
good.
do understand what she's saying, but yeah, maybe we should have covered it for like 2 minutes and was like, meanwhile, and went over the executive orders.
Well, I
You
think
know what I'm saying?
I think it's a good example of two things can be true at once, where it's reasonable for us to come out with this video condemning this stuff, and it's also reasonable for people to say, hey, wait a minute, what are we missing? Because we always try to do that. Like, what is everyone talking about? And they're all kind of taking the bait, and what should we be trying to look for? That's what's happening in the background. So
Yeah, we never know what we should talk about.
all good.
Really, this is the reason I really wanted to cover this Jimmy Dore thing, is because I wanted to like say to people, this is the whole lesson behind it. Do not blindly follow anyone, because people have their own agendas. People have their own price point. And if you blindly follow someone and you're just listening to what they have to say, they can lead you to a path that isn't your righteous path. So be very careful, because I was a big, huge Jimmy Dore fan. And I started noticing, and I'm like, something don't seem right. Maybe I should, pull back a little bit and find some other places that have my values and my morals more at my heart. I mean, I watched Russell Brand, and then I was like, I don't know.
I was a big fan of Jimmy when I first came across him too, right? I think what happens is you get so starved for people who are saying like actual things that you really agree with, and then like you get all this right-wing like toxic garbage media. Someone actually says something you can finally have respect for, you kind of get a little bit like a little too much of a crush on him, like
Right. Like, let us all agree to not fall into the like celebrity stan or celebrity worship category. Like, let us be critical, because I've seen, Desert Mantis is here.
Oh, hey.
Hi, love. I've seen different independent media that act like they don't want to be like that, but then they're not saying shit about this because they want to keep their access, and they want to be, like, they do have a little bit of celebrity worship in them,
And
even though
maybe some audience capture too, worried about losing followers. So
can we do this, because we're like halfway in, and I think people get the point, and they probably might have seen this already any damn way.
Look at the comments now.
Yeah, I want to look at the comments.
Just so that people know that we're not just the only ones who feel this way, even though most of you guys already know, right?
Yeah, most of them feel this way too. Let me see if I can make it bigger.
Well, there he is. As if Jimmy pins his own comment, or whatever, thanking his sponsors.
Wait a minute, what just happened?
What happened there?
I don't know. Hold on. I gotta go down. There we go. Thanks to Lumen for sponsoring to get 20% off. Okay. All right,
No
guys.
record to see here.
Oh, this is me. Remember during Trump's first presidency, his administration was throwing the white power signs left and right, and they tried to gaslight us like we weren't seeing what we were obviously seeing. That's this, which it pretty much is. I'm autistic and can't help feel a bit insulted that people will use autism to defend must salute. Neurodivergence is not an excuse for bigotry and neo-Nazis. Jimmy Kurt, you want credibility that when exposing the biased coverage of the Canadian trucker protests? Then don't squander it by mocking valid observations about this gesture by Musk and trotting out excuses for him. It's like everybody, these are new ones.
Oh, nice.
Seeing white people doing these mental gymnastics, your eyes are lying to you.
This is the first one at the top. I don't talk politics for a living, but I do know that Elon Musk's grandparents on his mother's side were Canadians who loved Nazism, like we already said, right?
They moved to South Africa because they liked the apartheid. Just saying. A lot of people were talking about that in here. Jimmy sometimes nails it. Sometimes he couldn't hit the side of a barn with a baseball. You missed this one, Jim. I love this one. Jimmy, you do it. Do it on your show tomorrow. Give us your heart and see how well it goes over.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, right? If you really think it was such an accident, but then he can't do it on purpose in an accident.
Right. There's this funny, I'm going to see if I can pull it up.
Jimmy has totally stopped caring about what he says and is now just focused on,
Oh, that's what you're, this is one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Jimmy is everything Jimmy claims to be against. A market manipulating, scamming oligarch, and Jimmy defends him.
Yeah.
Oh, Elon is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
Jimmy has totally stopped caring about what he says and is now just focused on, I don't know, dot. A lot of people were like saying you could be a Nazi and a Zionist all at the same time. It's just that easy. Well, the
Germans in
ADL
Germany think he did a Nazi salute. That's another.
You saw it. Wait, hold on.
One above, right there, the longer
right
one.
Here. Germans in Germany. Yeah. Yep.
I told my aunt about a month ago I thought Elon Musk might be a closet Nazi. Werner von Braun liked space too. I don't think it was so much an awkward gesture as it was a Freudian slip. I don't even know if it's a Freudian slip. I'd say that's even being generous.
Well, some people are saying he just got excited and like hit that bitch. Good night, bad cookies. Good night, Jacqueline. We're about to shut this shit down. I just
Thanks for being here, Jacqueline.
Here's me again. Jimmy definitely has a price. He definitely is not the same as he used to be. Not sure if it's his new sponsorship, but he's definitely not the same. Yeah. I mean, he always said, name my price. And I think they matched the price.
Oh, look at that one. So good. Whitney Webb or whatever. If you scroll up to the green name, the Y.
Whitney Webb. There you go. You can read it.
Whitney Webb is right about certain YouTube independent channels who are afraid to criticize Musk and Peter Thiel because they own the platforms which allow them to thrive. Mic drop.
Whoop, whoop. Right? Who knew a billionaire would be cheered on this channel? Don't believe your lying eyes, right, Jim? Still waiting for Jimmy and Kurt to do the exact same salute. Since it's not a Nazi salute, go for it, dudes.
Yeah. But this occur to me, maybe he's made that cynical observation that even if people are hate watching and trolling me, the more clicks, the better. Please give me the no such thing as bad press kind of thing. I don't know. I think there's some limits to that.
Look, nothing weird about Musk doing that at all. Nothing worth mentioning. No room for a comedian to mock and make fun of it. All quite normal. Nothing to see here as the richest man in the world makes a lovely, heartfelt gesture at the inauguration of the world's most powerful man. Nothing to see here.
I don't know about Trump being the most powerful man. People are behind Trump, more powerful than him, but it's a fair comment, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, powerful in view.
Yeah. People consider the president of the United States to be they always have considered that to be the most powerful person in the world. But
Someone said, salute me once like that, shame on you. Salute me twice like that, shame on me. That's a cute play on Bush. The fact that the ADL dismisses it makes me think it's a salute. I spent like hours just going through these. If you guys want to laugh, we don't have time for it, but if you want to laugh, just go through these comments. Somebody like even said, damn, I never thought Jimmy Dore would get ratioed on his own shit. Because you know how he's always talking about people getting ratioed on their own post. And here he is getting ratioed on his own clip. And it is glorious to see.
I have not seen a single comment defending Jimmy here. So
there are few, but I mean there are very few. Oh, here's me again. Zionists can't be Nazis. That's like saying racists won't use black people to push their agenda forward. The agenda is the agenda, and anyone can be used to push it forward. Like, come on now. Who cares if he could be a Nazi and a Zionist? Like, his agenda is his agenda, period.
It's Zionists.
A lot of people were saying that too.
It's the Zionists who tell you that you can't be a Zionist and a Nazi at the same time. Isn't that it?
Okay. Let me share it again. Like this one right here. So which is it? Is he a Zionist or a Nazi? Answer: yes. I'm telling you, this is comedy gold. So if you guys have time, on your own time, just go in here and look at the comments and laugh. So should we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think so.
So let's go through some of the comments before we go. I burnt my bad cookies. I thought you were going to sleep. I burned bridges too, Michael. This morning I burned my bridges with libertarians who still fully respect Tulsi. I couldn't even finish saying the name. Sorry. I don't have the patience.
Oh, you're glitched out a bit.
That was my sarcasm.
No, I think that there's an important, like the burning the bridges is one metaphor to use, but your comment makes me think about the ratchet effect, where at some point, if you don't burn your bridges with them, they're going to pull you right just because you're afraid to say, fuck you. So you got to do it at some point just to stay who you are.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's that RFK thing going on right now too. I guess we could have covered that. Like, there's so many things we could have covered.
RFK getting like certified or something, or I don't remember. Yeah.
Oh, Bad Cookie said, I would do that, Abby do, but I refuse to give Jimmy Dore a single click. Oh, it's getting that bad for a lot of people. A lot of people are just like, I'm unsubscribed. I'm not doing this anymore with you. Like, who are you? We don't know you anymore. This is not a good look. You're pandering to your Trump base because you know that's where the money is now. Yeah. And you're just going to go wherever the wind blows, yada, yada. I mean, if you just look through the comments, it is insane.
Every time I try to watch him now, like, he just does that, like, fucking with his own audience, or whatever, treating his audience like disrespectfully. Like, you take out a couple hours of your day to do a live broadcast, but then about half of the broadcast is we'll be right back, playing whatever salsa music, that is so like fuck you to the audience, but it's using psychological reactants, right? People see that and they go, oh, I hate that you make us wait all this time or whatever. But it really is actually subconsciously, it's making them want to stick around to see Jimmy when he's finally there. And it works on people. But it doesn't work on me because I see that and I'm like, fuck you or whatever. If you're not going to be live when you're live, I'm not going to watch. I'm going to give you a down thumb. I'm going to go away.
Michael, I just assume, this is what I assume. He has so many followers because he does have a huge following. I assume that he's doing that to like get people coming in or whatever. Yep. Like sometimes when we start our show, I mean, we look at how many people are watching, and so we keep the music on a little bit longer to let people pile in before we start because we want them to see from the beginning, you know?
Yeah, I can understand that.
But he goes like 30 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. That's like, fuck you. That's respecting the audience. You go to see a movie, right?
Ours is like 3 minutes.
You got to wait for 30 minutes before the movie starts or whatever. You're paying for empty airtime. Like, it's stupid. But we don't pay for it on YouTube, right? Unless these people who donate money, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. He said, yep, he takes 30 to 40 minutes to do 20 minutes worth of content. Isn't he on longer than 20 minutes?
I don't know. Sure. I should time out how much of content he actually is providing. If he's live for like 4 hours, but then he gives you like an hour of content, it's probably not that bad, but he'll give you 2 hours of content and 2 hours of break time. It's annoying.
Desert Mantis, I think he jumps to Rumble because there are certain things you can't say on YouTube. I mean, that was my assumption. Is that not accurate?
That was the original thing, but now as far as there's things that you can't say on YouTube, but then like Rumble's no like anti-establishment kind of place. Like I'm sure that place is just as captured as YouTube is.
Look, Volunteero, I'm glad you said that. I was like, maybe Jim needs to start smoking weed again because I don't know what the fuck is going on. I think I need to send him a blunt. Somebody.
Yeah. I don't know who I'd be.
Somebody send that man a blunt. Yeah. I don't smoke, by the way.
That's okay.
Not that I'm opposed to it. I don't smoke because my brain like slows down where I can't really communicate and stuff, and I feel like I'm not like present in the room with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't need everybody. I don't want to try and convince everybody you're smoking weed. It's not good for everybody. It doesn't affect everyone the same way. And if you don't like it, don't do it.
Oh, I like it. I want to be present when I'm talking to people. That's the only reason. Yeah, Jimmy is towing the line. I had a good friend who wouldn't talk, and then when he smoked weed, then he was able to communicate. And I was like, you're the first person I ever met that he's like very like brilliant guy, very brilliant. And I realized, like, I had an epiphany. I was like, oh, your brain moves so fast that you can't get the thoughts out. So then when you smoke weed, your brain slows down enough so you could talk and have a conversation about the ideas you have in your head. Holy shit. You're the first person I ever met that ever.
You're making me curious as far we're talking about autists all day. Maybe what autists need at the end of the day is to just be a bunch of potheads. It'll cure them up.
I don't know. Look, hey, it's worth checking into.
It's one of those things they probably don't want them to try because they already got some pharmaceuticals they want to pump them with. But who knows?
What is going on around here in the comments? What's going on with the dildos and eggs?
I don't know.
Y'all know
Cookie said maybe we can smoke weed with Shmuley and Russell Brand. That's where she's saying. Because the eggs is Russell Brand. Apparently, there's this Diddy thing to be in the Diddy party there. You got to be able to fit like a hard-boiled egg up your ass without breaking it.
Oh.
And then Russell Brand recently has a picture holding an egg with a big ass grin on his face. So then people are saying, if this conspiracy thing about Diddy is not true, why the fuck is Russell Brand posing with the picture of an egg? Someone explain that, right?
No gerbils?
What's that?
I said no gerbils.
No gerbils. Oh shit. Yeah, I guess they're moving on, graduating from gerbils.
If you
maybe
don't
you send them the egg
know,
and
Google
send
it.
the egg.
If you don't know, Google it. Bad cookies. I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too.
Nice.
Okay, John H. He's not here right now either, but same thing with Joe Rogan. He stopped smoking weed and brought on all these capitalists. Yes, Joe Rogan. I mean, we didn't have time to talk about him, but he's another one. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
I mean, he just wants access. Now he's bringing on Mark Zuckerberg, Tucker Carlson, like all these billionaires is his main audience. And then he had the nerve to say one day that white men are just they're just going to be silenced in America. Bruh, you white, you a man, and you got like one of the number one syndicated podcasts in America. The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
this is Gaslight 101.
It's just like total like blindness to his own whatever. I don't. The words are failing me right here, whatever. But like, it's so ridiculous, whatever. Like lack of self-criticism, right?
Mm-hmm. No more gerbils ever do. The pet shop is on to them. You know what? They're so bad. Gerbils are so 80s. They moved on to some other shit.
Go on to know
Gerbils are so 80s.
Days,
Y'all are bad. I think the next show, I want to do something fun. Like we'll do something serious. We might have that person on from CIA informant from who is not a CIA informant, by the way. That's just a play on his name. About some stuff. We might have him or
a guest from
we'll see.
Yeah.
But I want to play some fun stuff with audience involvement too. Next time. Yeah. There's this like real fun thing about it's like these acronyms. If you want to learn a little bit about formerly called Ebonics, but now called African American vernacular.
Ebonics sounds so much better. I don't know why people need to change that.
Yeah, now they call it African American vernacular. What's the E? Vernacular. Yeah, I said vernacular, huh? Sorry. Vernacular, and then it's an E. I don't know what that E is. It escapes me. I like Ebonics better. But anyway, it's like you'll prompt the person. We've done it before, but I found a channel which that's all they do. So I don't have to like try to write it down and hold it up here. I could just pull it up on and share it. And I think it should be fun.
Yeah. No, it's important for like people like to tell you you're not serious if you're not talking about something serious every single time. What you call yourself some kind of journalist and you don't even whatever. All you do is make jokes all the time. But
yeah,
you got to have some balanced content out there. If you just like info dump on people, it gets overwhelming. People do need laughter is a good medicine, right? So.
And I like animal videos. I kind of like animal videos.
Yeah.
And comedy. I like comedy too. So maybe we could like take a break every now and again and incorporate some of those things in it before we move on to the next thing. I think that would be good for us.
Yeah, we'll
and I hope you guys will enjoy it.
Sounds good.
Okay, so are we heading out? I think we're heading out.
Yeah, I think so. Trying to think of announcements. I think as far as one announcement, it's like a bit like serious or whatever, I heard Ali Abunimah got arrested from Electronic Intifada, and I hadn't done enough follow-up because I was busy to see if he's still arrested or if he got released or anything. But if he is still arrested, people please support Electronic Intifada and try and ask for his release if you want to be doing that kind of petition thing, because he was a very important voice with integrity on Palestine. Unlike Jimmy, people like Ali Abunimah deserve to be defended. So there we go.
Do you want me to go out with a little bit of video from Jimmy Dore or Andrew Tate?
You go ahead with the Jimmy Dore. That's fine. I think we still played more of the other video.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go out with a little bit of the Jimmy. It's Jimmy. I wish Rondo was here. How many of y'all remember that song? It's Jimmy from the early 90s.
I don't know what you're
Laughter is a good medicine. I know you don't. It was from the South. I know you don't.
Oh yeah.
It's a Southern black hip hop rap thing.
Okay.
But you know, we'll learn together. Oh, this was fun. Okay, so we're gonna Sula wants to hear Andrew Tate.
We could do that.
Charm wants to hear Hemi Horror.
Yeah,
and Rest IP is here. Where you been, Rest IP?
Thanks for popping in. Saying
Thanks
hello.
for popping in. We're leaving.
Yeah,
we're on our way out the
rewind
door. But go back and watch when you have time, if you have time, and that'll be good. Okay, so Sean, we love you too. We love all of our audience. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you very much for being here, and we'll try and be here for you too. So.
Exactly. Bye, everyone.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Jason means you dipshits.
So here's what Caitlin Johnstone says. She says the ADL telling everyone to cool their jets about Elon Musk throwing up textbook Nazi salutes at a political event should be the final nail in the coffin for the anti-Semitism narrative. It won't be, but it should be. This makes it so transparently obvious that groups like the ADL do not exist to curb discrimination against Jews. They exist to promote a geopolitical and military interest of an apartheid state in the Middle East. Yeah, but I don't think that this is, she's correct in that, but I don't think that this shows that. To come on,
I mean, everything I've witnessed in my entire
you really
years
think
alive
he was
has
on
shown me
purpose
that.
giving a Nazis? Come on.
It's like a campaign thing where they're like, we know it's not true, but if we can get it to stick, then it'll be like everything's campaigning. You already lost the election, dipshits. So don't try to do that now. It's not going to, how's it going to help you?
Imagine if someone like Jeremy Corbyn or Greta Thunberg had repeatedly thrown up a Nazi salute at a political event after denouncing the abuses of the state of Israel. Yeah, that would be weird if he was talking about the abuses of Israel and then did a Nazi salute. That would be weird.
Right. He also didn't do a Nazi salute, so it's
but he what?
Yeah,
that was an awkward. Again, this is the entire Western political media class would unify to stomp their reputation through the floorboards forever. But he wasn't talking about Israel. I mean, I'm sure if someone was doing it, they would be more cognizant of, hey, that looks really weird if I do that.
Also, Hitler.
So I love
again, Trump.
So the bigger point that she's trying to make is there isn't an anti-Semitism crisis in our society. There isn't. It's a lie that has been cynically promoted by institutions like the ADL to shut down criticism of genocidal atrocities by a tyrannical apartheid state. That's all we've ever been looking at here. She's correct 100% on that.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, my heart goes out to you. CNN. Elon Musk is a Nazi.
You know what? I'm coming back for a second. I don't know if you. Okay.
I'll just. I usually don't like to smoke on camera just because not.
Okay.
Not good.
Yeah. This part pisses me the fuck off. I forgot this was going to happen. So, this is a video, right? of Elon Musk. All these other ones are images. So if anybody in the chat is a video editor, then you would know that you can take a video and you can take it frame by frame and you could create a picture off of a frame. So if someone raises their hand to, like, this camera, fuck. If I can't even see. If I like shit. If I like raise my hand and start waving, like it comes up, like you could just freeze frame this while I'm still raising my hand up to wave. So you can make me look like, you can make anybody look like they're doing a Nazi salute. I can't believe Jimmy Dore is doing this. You have a team of editors. You know how this works. I'm pissed off.
But also, what's funny about this, they're trying to say, oh, look at all these people waving to the crowd. None of them were doing a Nazi salute, were they? But look at who these people are. It doesn't matter if they're literal Nazis. They're all fascist anyway.
Yeah.
They're all fucking working for the
So
US
does it even
empire.
fucking matter?
What are people saying here?
That is a very good point, Michael. Like, who gives a fuck anyway? They're all fascists working for the oligarchs. So why do we give a shit?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That was good for coming back for that. Yeah.
Okay. But I need to go. I need to go up to the restaurant. I'm gonna play a little bit more, and it's only 6 minutes left. I should just let it play out and let everybody say whatever the hell they want to say, and then we bounce. Does that sound? Unless I get pissed off again, I might come back.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night again, everyone.
The legacy media is actively and purposely misleading. Elon Musk never did a Nazi salute. Watch the full video. He simply gestured and said, "Thank you. My heart goes out to you." He should have did it like that.
Okay.
But he's an awkward guy socially.
Blow him a
Legacy
kiss or something.
What's that?
Hey, blow a nice kiss next time.
Yeah, do this. How about that? Anyway.
Oh dear.
By the way, does it go out to me on H-1B visas, Elon?
So can you believe Elon Musk gave a Sig Heil salute to the audience? He's trying to bring Nazi rule to the United States of America? Wait a minute. What the heck is this? You know what this means? It means that we've been under Nazi occupation for years. They're all goddamn Nazis, Kurt. Every last one of them. I'm the Joe McCarthy for spotting Nazis. They're everywhere, hiding in every cupboard. Everyone is a Nazi.
Yeah, well, mostly at NASA.
Mostly at
That's how
NASA.
we went to the
That's
moon.
right. Operation Paperclip. Eve Barlow says, I'd like everyone who thinks Elon Musk gave a Nazi salute to give a fraction of that energy to this. And this is a terrorist firebombing attack on Jewish preschool in Sydney. The terrorists spray painted F the Jews next to the burning building. I thought they just wanted a ceasefire. So again, you don't know who actually did that.
Yeah. Also, they did it in Sydney.
You don't know who did that. There's been lots of reports of attacks on temples and Jewish institutions in the United States. Turns out it was being done by Jews. It turns out it was false flags. So you don't know who did that.
Oh, Eve Barlow. She's an idiot.
I don't
She's
know.
the one that was with that Johnny Depp's ex-wife in Rolling Stone.
No
and
way.
She's an imbecile.
So I'd like everyone who thinks Elon Musk gave a Nazi salute to give a fraction of that energy to this. This is, so you see what that is? Do you see what that is? That's Mossad with a blue check tweeting out a picture of them. And you think that's a Palestinian? Yeah.
Probably a terrorist.
And they
Jimmy.
say
That's what I
removing the
assume.
trash. That's how they take. So it's
there
weird
how in America when we go to war, we're not allowed to show these images proudly like that, even though it's really unabashed how they show stuff like this proudly.
So it's like liberal Democrats don't actually care about behavior and criminal actions. They only care about salutes and other superficial things because that is as far as their brain can delve into it before it shuts off.
Yeah, they're programmed to do that.
So this was retweeting that Eve Barlow.
Eve Boyle is a dum-dum.
Hey, this is what makes Elon Musk a Nazi, not some goofy salute.
You're thinking of an Ashkenazi.
Okay. I'm coming back. Okay. Do you remember when Jon Stewart had to like after he pinned that award on that Nazi? Like he had to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
one of the war veterans from Ukraine.
yeah. I mean, so this is kind of the same thing. Elon Musk, I can't remember the full story behind it. If you do know, chime in. But Elon Musk had made some tweets, some like anti-Semitic tweets or something, and this was his penance for doing that. So, like, you know how Jon Stewart's penance for his what he was saying about COVID, he had to pin a award on a Nazi. Now he got his show back.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So this is the same thing. Like Elon Musk had made very anti-Semitic comments, or it probably wasn't even anti-Semitic. I can't remember what he said. Like you could say Kanye and Kyrie Irving made anti-Semitic comments. You could say that, but I mean, God bless the truth.
Well, also like,
so he had to do this.
This is similar to just like the Canadian Parliament had a literal Nazi they did a standing ovation for. And then after that, everyone acted like it was a big mistake. They didn't realize wherever they think that they can gaslight, no matter how bad it gets, there's always some kind of story that they can trot out.
So I just wanted to point that out. Now I promise I'm not coming back, y'all. I'm not. Well, we'll see.
Promises.
We'll see what other dumb shit he has to say. But it's only 3 minutes left. And then, okay, goodbye again. We love you. We really do.
Take care, everyone. Have a good night.
The shitlibs always choose the wrong reason, even when they're doing the right thing. You know, they impeached Trump because he paused a shipment of weapons to Ukraine.
To Nazis.
And
this is when they were a lot more. They weren't killed off by Russia yet.
The best reason to vote for Trump, they turned it into an impeachable offense.
Hey, how did
this would be the reason why you don't like Elon Musk.
How did all of Canadian House of Commons salute a Nazi over the summer and every liberal just forgot about it? If I even bring it up because it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen happen in Canada, they don't remember it. They didn't hear about it. They all
saluted it. That's right. That's right.
And he had to do his best to not do a Sig Heil.
Look at this. Oh my God, I'm literally shaking. That's Trump's.
You know what this looks like?
Aaron.
These people that are doing this, you know how you always see celebrities when they put the thing over their eye and they go, "Oh, that's Illuminati."
Yeah.
And you call them conspiracy crazies. That's what these people are.
So I think that was from whoever put that together did it as a joke. Look. I think that's funny. And
why did Hitler's Sig Heil? Why is his like a weird little like go on, get out of here? Like Hitler's he never does it. He goes, okay.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
You guys. Look at all right.
Fellas. Hey,
Sit
fellas.
Down. Sit down. That's enough. Oh, you guys are great. Too much. Sit down.
All right, I'm blushing. If you're lifting weights, doing cardio, meal prepping, tracking, macro